successful, for what is the core essence of being successful? You have to get a chance, and when you get that chance, you should be able to perform on that chance. So creating that first powerful impression to get that chance, and once you get the chance, you have these hard skills and your soft skills. So please try to combine and make together a very nice blend of all these three components, and yes, success is all yours. And for that, according to the role, goal, occasion, put the conscious efforts to work on the first impression, which includes 4 components. Components are your appearance and your grooming, your communication skills, the way you put forward your thoughts. And then, yes, along with that comes your body language. You are the whole package. And yes, last but not the least, your emotional quotient. Okay, so working on knowing, so this is the graph which I have tried putting it for self-development. Ultimately, the purpose of the image consulting is like change from inside out. So work on knowing and developing your positive body image. Your self-image is the first step or the foundation, you can say. Based on that, the whole journey of your career, your life, your experiences, everything is based. So when you are in harmony with your body and yourself or inner image, when you are together in harmony, self-cultivation, that is integration of and coordination of your mind and body happens. And when you are in harmony with yourself, your self-esteem is high, which makes you more self-confident, and you become the self-competent leader. And when you are that leader, people definitely like to follow you. So and yes, the last most important component which I would like to put here in this VUCA world of knowing self EQ, and we have to keep working on developing our emotional intelligence as a core foundation for the success today. What is VUCA world? The world of volatile, uncertainty, the complex world, and ambiguous world. So this world, when we try to understand our emotional quotient, and we try to balance it with our first image, your inner image and your body image, self-image, life is very simple. And yes, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. That is what I truly believe in. And being an emotional intelligence coach myself, I strongly like to put this forward, that emotional intelligence plays a very, very vital role in your development and to achieve success. So focus on gaining mastery on self, inner image, and emotional intelligence to be that strong and focused women leader, as well as that brand you to stand out. So ensure to have that mastery over the momentum. Okay. And this is the beautiful quote which I always like, and I always try to put: the eye can see only what the mind is prepared to comprehend. It's just a matter of changing your perspective. Okay. Yes. So there is not one path. There is not even the right path. There is only and only your path. Okay. So I wish all the wonderful women, strong women here, and all the gentlemen also who support women and respect their passion, all the success from the bottom of my heart, and all the best. And please take care, all of you, and stay safe. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kitaki. Your presentation and is wow. So you actually you did some introduction about your starts and things like that, but now through this presentation we can see what is actually how actually everything developed is developed because of your experience, because we start with something, and during the time you continue with education, then you realize what is something that should be improved, what you can do for others, what is something, what is the missing part in corporate worlds. And this is so good, and I really hope that our attendees, and actually also myself will use it in the future. So thank you so much again.
Thank you so much,
And
Ellen. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. I have a few questions for you after, but we have to discuss with our presentations, and after that we will have I will ask you some questions. So
Please,
thank you.
I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward.
Yes, thank you. And now I will continue with my presentation. I will also share, actually, I did my presentation according to my experience. Okay, I can talk a lot about investments, about business, about things like that. But the point is I wanted to share actually how everything started, what was the trigger, and why actually, and how I decided to be in the area where I am. So I will start with my presentation now. So let me start here. Yeah, I hope you can see it. So as you can see, and as Stanislava told you, I'm president and co-founder of Business Angels Association of Serbia. The name of my today presentation is I, Woman, a Leader. Of course, I am. Why I decided to use this title, and what is the point? Actually, in the last period, I discussed a lot with the people around me from different parts of the world about our experiences, about gender equality and things like that. And through that my journey, I heard a lot of times things, actually questions from women that ask me how it's possible. What do you think? Can I do this? And in many cases, I can see and I can feel that there is something that they're missing, and actually they just need a small push to do the things better, and to feel a freedom and to start doing a magic. So that is the reason why I decided to start and to take this the name of presentation. Who I am, I always love to share the pictures of my family, because actually they are someone that created me, but actually they gave me some roots and gave me some basics. So as you can see, I'm from Serbia. It is a European country, and I'm very passionate about sport, passionate about environment issues, and I always pay attention about impact and sustainability. Why is that? You will see in the next slides. Why I'm here, as you can see, I'm not just in Serbia, but I cooperate a lot with different countries. So you can see that I'm in a few Chinese networks, and I'm also a part of Asia CEO community. And I'm so happy that I can share it here today with you. Why? Because Rina is a very important part of that network, and she is an investor and a strong supporter of Asia CEO community. So the reason why I'm here is my global, not just local, but global presence that actually allow me to be a part of not just this event, but others related to other continents and countries. Today, I'm going to talk about networking, leadership, mindset, and attitude. You saw in Kentucky's presentation that actually she also put attitude as one of the things she was talking about. But you can also see through her presentation that at the end, everything is connected, because if you want to make something, you have to improve some skills that actually all we have, but we have to do a long life learning if we want to make some progress. So you can also see that your network is your network. This is something that you can hear a lot of times if you're on Clubhouse or some other platforms where people discuss a lot, that they also discuss about networking and the point that your network is your net worth. How my story started, I told you that I'm so passionate about sport, thanks to my sport background. That makes me easily to make easier communication and connections with people, not to feel any gap between genders, between male and female. That helped me a lot to change some things in my mindset, to change my attitudes, actually to improve myself, because I'm in martial arts and I always use it and I always tell others, okay, I was in a men's sport, I was the only one, and I was the first female fighter in my country. I was first female that actually I had only guys to fight with them and to prepare for competitions, local and European or global. But the point is, everything is here. So for me, in that moment, they were not the guys, they were just sparring partners. And that is something that was the trigger and that pushed me up to be a fighter and just continue, keep going, even if we are talking about sport, private life, or business. So networking, yes, networking is something that I can freely talk about because through my background and experience, you can see that I'm very good in networking. Maybe it's not good to say I'm good, but I can freely say that I am. So digital era allow us to network easier and well. So if you say that you cannot network now, it is just excuse, because human beings are full of excuses. So if you want to make connection, if you want to network, you can do it easily because you have a lot of social media, a lot of platforms, a lot of things, mechanism that allows you to be connected with a local and a global community. So if you don't know where to start, because I was also we were all confused at the beginning, but it is okay. But something that will help you at the beginning is to imagine, visualize, prioritize, and set the goals, and everything. After that, everything will be much clearer because you will have a clear picture in your head. Grow with your network mentally and intellectually, and be picky with choosing network and people around you, because actually at the end that network will define you, even if you want to accept it or not. So I also shared some slides here, some pictures here. You survived 100 days of your bad days, and getting around the right people is the biggest success hack in the world. So about leadership. Leadership is something that actually started to be very common in our discussions, but leadership we see in the different ways. Why? Because we all have different experience and we have a different stories. Some of us are leaders, some of us are bosses, some of us are, I don't know, something third. But leadership is something that actually, my personal opinion, that all we have in ourselves. So there is no unique way of leadership, but there is the same or similar skills that we all learn during life. So that is something that we are learning, and Ketaki is a person that actually helped us to improve some or educate some skills that we are missing or we need to improve. So preparing for this event, I just found some thoughts that I really think in that way. So leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. That is the point. So the point is to make some impact. The point is to share and the thing to be a team player. Leadership is not about titles, positions, and the flow chart. It is about one life influencing another. That is something that I was talking about. Leadership is not about a title or destination. It's about impact, influence, and inspiration. So we have to inspire others in the same or similar way that someone inspired us to become what we are. And if your action inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. So that is also connected with the mindset. How Ketaki said that everything is here. Yes, it is. And I also explained that through my sport journey, which was not easy, because after 10 years, I realized that I can do some things easier, but most things were here. When I changed some things in my head, in my mindset, everything started growing. The same thing is in the business. So magic happened out of comfort zone. You cannot do any progress if you don't change your mindset, if you don't change something in your life. So all limits are in your head. So the sky is not the limit. I am. When I decided to go out of comfort zone, when I decided to actually go through my fears, everything started happening. I was a bit confused at the beginning, but that was okay, because I was also scared when I was in a ring preparing for a fight, or when I was fighting. But actually, that was something that I needed to have some experience and to have some make some knowledge. There are no failures, just lessons. When we realized that not failure, that every bad situation in our life is our lesson, you will continue growing, and we attract what we think. That is energy exchanging. Think positive. Don't be negative. Even if there is snow, if there is a rain, whatever, think positive, because everything what has the beginning also had the end. And attitude, this is something that Ketaki was thinking about. Yes, okay, I'm a woman. I can easily say, okay, I have problems because I'm surrounded with men. Honestly, I have only men in my team. I'm the only girl. But you know what? I'm the boss. No, I'm not the boss. I'm the leader. And that is something that actually they don't see, that we're a different gender, and I don't see that they are guys and that I'm a girl. So attitude is connected with the mindset. And if you behave in one way, people will accept you in that way. So behave in a way that you would like people see and accept you. So attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Think about that. Attitude are nothing more than habits of thoughts. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. So think about that. So these are some lessons that I learned. There are no fast-growing process. Time is limitless. So use it smart. Everything is in our head. Keep going, even if you are going through fire. Just keep going. So not every network and person is for you. So I told you that you should choose picky, because if there is also there is energy exchange. So if someone is negative, that person will push negative energy to you. So you will in sometimes heard that some persons don't want to be in a company with some negative people. Think why? And I experienced that. This is everything I share today with you. This is something from my personal experience. And all four things that I was talking about: networking, leadership, mindset, and attitude, is something that helped me to be where I am. Now I can choose the business I'm going to be I'm going to do. I can choose with which people I'm going to cooperate. I can choose in which project I'm going to invest. I can choose how many money or time I would like to spend in someone or somewhere or whatever. So think about changing your mindset. And this is my mother, my real mentor, and I always want to share her picture, because at the beginning of my life, as when we are younger, do not understand her words, but now I understand her very well. So thank you so much, and I hope that my presentation was useful for you. Now I would like to give the floor to my dear friend and colleague Rina. Actually, I would like to tell that actually maybe she don't know that actually she's the person that she's my role model, one of role models, Rina. And because she's not talking too much, but you can see a lot of good things around her. She is very good in realizing importance in environment, in people around her, and thanks to her, I started doing some things in my life. She has a lot of positions. She's a board member. She's an investor. She's one amazing woman, and I really don't know where to start and when to end, because from my point of view, it is impossible, because you're doing a lot of things. So, Rina, I'm so happy that we have you today, and please welcome, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Helena. Well, I miss you. We last saw each other in 2020, but things have changed so much. But I'm glad, with technology and everything else, we're still connected. So thank you to the organizers for having me today, and good afternoon from Singapore. So in today's presentation, I'm going to share with you a little bit about my life, how I started, because the question that most people ask me is that, how did you get started? How did you become an investor? And how did you become a VC? We have heard that many women are entrepreneurs, but the facts and the statistics shows that not many are actually investors or even being a VC. So let me share with you my journey. It wasn't something I planned as a child. And also it brings me back to some realization, like my fellow panel have said, right, in their presentation. Sometimes it is the people, the environment that actually affects you. If you have good energy people around you, you will, naturally progress. And I agree with Helena that after paying a lot of tuition fees, I know how to actually ring fence myself from the negative energy. We only have 24 hours a day. And I'm actually thankful that now, I have the liberty to choose who I want to spend my time with. We can't help everyone. We can only help people that want to be helped or need our help, right? So let me share with you. I only have about 12 slides, and then we can go into some discussion. Okay, so today's topic, I think we're talking about women being in the digital world and women entrepreneurs. So probably just to recap, right? What is our understanding about being a digital entrepreneur? In fact, since we entered this digital world, women has got many chances to actually being involved or actually have work in the industry. In the past, in the industry revolution, number one, number two, before we entered IR 4.0, most of the technology is very related to hardware. So, when they say women works in tech, right, it means that you have to be in an environment where you have to deal with heavy machines and all this. But in today's world, I can see that most women are entering the tech industry because there is a boom of software. And as a woman, we are unfortunately, expected to have a balance between starting a family and also, if we wish to, have a career. But it's very easy to say that we can balance it, but the truth is, if you need to be in the office or in the manufacturing plant, for example, and manage a family, one part of it needs to be sacrificed. However, for women who chose to actually enter the IT field in the software engineering part, I could imagine myself doing programming in my kitchen table while waiting for the bread to be ready. So I think that is a good, revolution where women are given more chance now in the software industry, and actually in the past, right? I think the programmers in NASA was actually women, right? So I'm very, very happy to know that with the development of technology, now we live in the world of software. Everything is software, everything is apps. So I don't see why women who wants to be in the digital space are not able to do so. In fact, with the COVID, right, everybody is working from home, and we have actually proven to the industry that our quality of work, our actually what do you call that, effectiveness working from home for women is on par or even better, right? So I am currently the managing partner of Ficus Venture Capital. Ficus Venture Capital is the world first Sharia compliant VC fund. We are domiciled in Malaysia, but we invest across ASEAN. So Ficus is actually my second fund. I have actually my first boutique fund out of Singapore, which is Mercatus Capital, which I'll share a little bit later. So a little bit about me. Many people actually ask me, who is your father? And, are you related to this family or that family? The fact is that I'm related to nobody. I am just a simple girl born and bred in a beautiful island called Penang. You've visited Malaysia, you should probably have heard of Penang. Some people call it the Pearl of the Orient. We are famous for food. What you see here is actually my my primary school and my kindergarten. Very typical below average family. We live in a 1-bedroom flat. That's me and my mom. Like Helena, I think my success today is very much because of what I've learned from my mom. My mom, because of the so many siblings that they had, only managed to attend school until primary 2. But she was very diligent. She actually went on to learn hairdressing and then became a hairdresser. And then because of the skills that she had, she was able to raise me and my brother single-handedly as a single mom. My journey started, my entrepreneur journey started accidentally when I was a kid because the family needed support and help. So I have to actually help out with selling stuff around my neighborhood. And that's where I learned, I think, how to trade those days, the word entrepreneur, didn't ring a bell, right? I only know that I wanted pocket money. I want to buy toys. So therefore, I sell stuff, right? And I think looking back, I'm thankful for that childhood. This area where I stay is actually well known for being very dodgy. But because I was exposed to different situations, being able to interact with different people, that builds my core. As you know, being confident is really important in especially in today's world, in a corporate world where women, had to really, not that we need really to fight very hard for the space, but being confident and being able to speak, what's in your heart and your mind is very important. So I learned that from young, and that is why I think, although Helena said that I don't speak a lot, when I speak, I have my own sort of like, ideas, and some people said it's very strong opinion as well. So I guess I have to work on that. So currently, my background is I had my first degree in computer science, and then I did my MBA, and currently I'm doing my doctorate. This is a bucket list because I've always wanted to actually go back to teaching one day. And because of my work, I'm currently residing in Singapore, but I also maintain homes in Philippines and Malaysia. So life as an entrepreneur, and all of you probably would have agreed, right? It looks very rosy, very glamorous, but in reality, it is actually very screwed up. Pardon my word. Every day as an entrepreneur, you wake up and you feel like, oh my God, it's another problem to solve. It will not end, but what I would probably encourage you to do is to take it one step at a time, and try to enjoy the journey. I always tell myself that if it is a negative experience, it is also an experience. It just tells me what not to do next. And every time I face a challenge, I will always tell myself that, okay, this is what I've learned. This is the tuition fee I paid. So I guess that is the lifelong learning that we all have to do. Regardless of how experienced you are, there will be days where you wake up and there are like boulders in front of you and it feels so hard to move it. I have those days, when I wake up and I ask myself, oh, why am I doing all this? Why don't I just be a housewife? But the grass is always greener, right? So maybe the housewife is like, oh wow, I want to be like Helena or Kataki. They are doing a lot of things. Instead of focusing on the family itself, they are using their energy to impact more children, more women. So that's a bigger, so-called more impactful things that we do, right? So this one I'll go through very fast. MacArthur's is my first fund, started in 2006. We are very fortunate that we have listed 3 companies. That is how I got my little extra cash to continue to invest in people's dream. So currently the 3 listed co, 2 have already been delisted. One that is remaining listed is actually Holistic Holtec. And after I'm done with MacArthur's, after spending and building it for 10 years, I decided to actually pursue something I like. That is to get that little money that I have to invest in companies or industry that I'm passionate about. I always believe that education is the most logical way of, helping the marginalized community, giving hope to the children. I'm always thankful that when I was growing up, there are good people who donated or gave me scholarships. So when I can right now, I very much wanted to give back. So if you look at my current portfolio, most of them are education related. Like My Chance is a preschools that I bought for Philippines, a My Chance master franchise, and then Sage is a collaboration with all my friends that around the world that they have come to actually lecture for free and then we bring this very, very wonderful lectures and experience to marginalized and students. They are from maybe very local universities that they will never have the ability to even enroll in Coursera, you know, even if it's like $39.90. So I'm very, very thankful to all these friends of mine whom, you know, dedicated their time to do research and to bring this program together. Helena mentioned about Asia CEO, and this picture, actually I don't like it because it's so eyesore, right? But I wanted to, when I invest in Asia CEO, I gave the founder a mandate that we need to increase the number of women entrepreneurs in the membership and also in the steering committee. So I can see that the founder Gary is actively making sure that this happens. So thank you, Helena, for being part of us. We really appreciate your support, and if you guys are interested, can check with Helena. And we are one community started out of Hong Kong, but we are quite closely knitted. During the pandemic, during COVID, when some of the countries were not able to get the supply of masks and all this, we basically activated everyone to help supply masks to the different countries where our members needed it very urgently. So this Asia CEO, we have now different chapters around the world, and hopefully, it's a non-profit organization. So we hope that with this, right, we can gather, like-minded people, CEOs, and come together and do something meaningful. This is Sage. Sage is a baby, a project out of during COVID, when I have always wanted to put skills from, like they say, the street savviness, school of hard knocks into a proper context. So what we did was I call up to all my friends, and Helena is also there. I asked myself if all of us could actually do something to help the entrepreneurs, because many companies, many startups are failing. They don't have the means to stay on course because it's really so difficult. So because of this, and because of the support of my friends, we launched School of Agility, Grit, and Entrepreneurship. Why agility and grit? Because I personally feel that these are the two very key, I would say, attributes or characters that I would look for in an entrepreneur. Because anything else, beautiful presentation, technology, and everything, you can learn. But having grit, having agility is something that you build over the years. Like how Helena would compete in competition. It's not like overnight. She needs to go through a lot of hard work, to prepare for that moment. And whether the person have the grit, or if she just goes for training for like 3 days a week, whereas her competitors goes like 7 days a week and non-stop. So these are the things that I feel over the years, right? What makes or break an entrepreneur? Because technically a business exists only if it is driven by the right people, right? So I do look for agility and grit when I invest. And the question I ask myself is that, while it's COVID, I could just stay home and do nothing, but I can also do something. And I'm not sure it will be successful, but at least I did it, right? Okay, so what I wanted to send the message is, in today's world, right, as a woman, we do face a lot of challenges, both in the structural manner and institutional, barriers as well, that somehow, limit us to actually participate in male-centric systems and spaces, especially in the investment world. No doubt, we have a lot of money there, but we also know that not many of the investment actually goes to the women. And then second, we are also, as a woman, we are faced with, what we call cultural norms and societal restrictions, right? As a child, as a woman, or as a girl, you are told not to do this, not to do that. So I don't know how Elena's mom allow her to actually be in that competition, right? You should be playing Barbie dolls and stuff like that. So I think it's important that we address this, and how we actually realize that things that were told to us as a child, as a kid, actually has a huge influence. So my discussion would be later. I'd like to open this up. It would be like, how do we actually keep the balance, right, between the environment that we are in, and then still remain authentic to our values and beliefs. So the societal barriers that we need to confront, and the gender biases and prejudices, for us to advance our career, I think there are a few. One is, of course, how we were raised. As girls, when we climb trees, our parents would be like, "Hey, don't do that, don't do that." But they will not say that to my brother. So therefore, we are not encouraged to take risks, because they say, okay, if you climb tree, you'll fall. But if I climb tree, I fall, then I will learn how to climb it better, or I will at least taste how falling is, right? So being in a protected environment also sort of prohibit us from taking risks. And then, of course, being girls, if you're raised in a very traditional family, you are always asked and expected to be the good and gracious, rather than to be actually being bold and being ambitious. I hope well, at least my mom didn't say that, oh, okay, you don't have to study too much, just get grow up, look beautiful and get a good husband, right? That happens still, I believe, in many cultures and many countries. But I think all of us here are quite blessed that we have, very supportive family members that encourage us to pursue our passion. And then, of course, one of the study that I like to share is that there's this imposter syndrome that I found when I was doing research, right? Women tend to actually downplay our achievements. Like, when people say, wow, you're beautiful, actually, no la. Or when people say, oh, you're so smart, no, because we just didn't want to people to think that we are bragging and all this. But if you look at guys, I think they will gladly receive the compliments with open hands, right? So maybe this is something that we need to try to get the message across to the younger generation, that when just acknowledge that you deserve the good things in life. When people compliment you, give you a benefit of doubt that they are real, they really think you're beautiful, they really think you're smart. So embrace it with open hands, right? Okay. So I think the last slide would be, how can we possibly break down these structural, institutional, or societal barriers, right? And that keeps us from being our best version of ourselves. I think firstly, very important is that we should know what's our purpose in life. It's not easy to find your own purpose. I'm still finding my own, because when you are 20, your purpose is different. When you're 30, your purpose is different. When you are like 50, it's different. But at every stage of this, at least you know what you are chasing. You should know what makes you happy, because some people don't know what makes them happy. And then, of course, secondly, please be kind to yourself, because if you don't, right, then nobody will respect you for that. So you have to be kind to yourself. Do whatever you think is right, as long as it's legal. Because if you want people to respect you, you should start respecting yourself. Just don't feel that you are just second class to anyone. And then, of course, the last one is be true to who you are. Because I think really good people, they measure you for who you are. They expect you, or they accept you as a package. Is only those who says, even if you're in a relationship, right? If your boyfriend says, oh, I only like your nose and your eyes, I think you should dump that guy, because a good person would expect the other person that we are all not perfect, that we are all incomplete, but we have our own weaknesses and strength. So in a relationship, in a business, you know, if both parties are not able to accept the other person as a package, then it's very hard to actually make the relationship work. So these are the three things that I constantly tell myself, and I remind myself every day. So I guess that's all about me. Besides work, I do have a life too, and I enjoy actually doing a lot of charity work in the space of education. So here's me in Peru building that little schools, and it only takes 30 cents to put a kid in school. That's me in East Timor building schools for the children. And the last one is actually I have through my family office and school, we actually adopt about 200 kids. They're orphans, so we actually try to provide them with school stationeries and everything else. So I hope this session is useful. Thank you so much for having me again.
Karina, wow, I don't know what to say. I told you, all of you attendees, that there is always something, or actually a lot of things that you can hear and learn from Rina. So Rina, thank you so much. You know, and now you see why she one of my role models in life. So thank you again. And just to tell you, we received a few questions for you, and but we have to continue with Rach, and after that I will read the questions we received. So thank you again. And Rach, she's another amazing woman from Philippines, with background in the waste industry. Now she's founder of a startup. She did a lot of things in the past, and she has a big experience. And after that, doing with others and for others, she decided to start something personally, her own business. So Rach, welcome, and the floor is yours. I would really like to hear how everything started, what is your experience, and what we can learn from you.
Thank you so much, Helena, and thank you so much for inviting me as well to the Digital 4 Foundation. Thanks so much for inviting me. It's really hard to follow Miss Rina and Miss Ketaki and you, Elena. You're all doing so much, and I'm really inspired actually to hear your stories. So let me share mine now. I'm from the Philippines, and actually today the topic is more on through the lens of a female leading alpha males, and it's really well interesting that while you are all discussing those things, you have been mentioning about what's gonna happen if it's there's a male, if you're actually leading males in your team, and you're also there's also a lot of barriers for the female in the business sector, and because of as Ms. Rina said, there are cultural norms and other environmental things that's actually preventing us, or it's much harder to go to the business sector rather than if you're a male compared to a male going towards a business that feels like very natural to them. So yeah. Okay. Now, actually, I'm still young, pretty much compared to your experiences. You have really more broad experiences than mine. I only have like 6 years of working experience, and pretty much new in the entrepreneurial side. Although I think maybe because of my mom having this entrepreneurial side to her in the direct selling and stuff, and also some of my siblings going towards business commerce as their undergrad. They might have shared it with me, indirectly or directly, while I was growing up. And so that's why with the past years, it's been gaining momentum inside me. Now, I have worked as a business development manager and director before, in a startup that's creating a mobile application for the Philippines before. And then I also worked as operations analyst for metals and mining, that would actually be more on the data analysis for almost a year and a half. And I'm actually a graduate for mining engineering. So I'm an engineer by profession, but then at some point I realized that I think it's much better for me to go towards the data analysis side, and also going towards having a more financial background, adding it to the experience of analyzing data. Because while I was working at S&P Global Market Intelligence, I realized that, oh, okay, I think there's money in data and in technology. And how can we use this information, how can we use this to actually help other people? And so there was a an opportunity for me to focus on innovation and business, and that's why I went towards a master's degree in the Asian Institute of Management, and worked on a waste management solution, as a solution, or my master's degree capstone. So yeah, and then from there I started an idea for an NGO that became a social tech enterprise, and now it's Bridge 360. And the Bridge 360 is a software development primarily that helps NGOs, startups, and SMEs, so that they can actually launch and create products that can be affordable, rather than having this really big expenses for just an MVP of, or a minimum viable product for their business. So my parents, basically, my mother was working as a direct sales and networking before, and my father was not able to finish college, but he has worked really hard as an overseas Filipino worker in Saudi Arabia. And because of that, thankfully to my parents, they were able to provide us. We're actually six in the family, as siblings, so kind of a lot. And there's a lot of mouth to feed, and to house, and to make sure that are properly educated. Thankfully, we were able all to graduate. And although some of us, due to maybe due to the time right now, there are some unstable jobs, because of the future of work, of course. So there had been unstable jobs there, but there are also business minded in our family that might have, that most likely have affected me, and brought me to my state right now. And there are also professionals uh, in the family. And then from there, I think I have like skills acquired basically on systems thinking, design thinking, business development, and business analyst. And then I also have my advocacies on climate change, primarily sustainable development, having good governance, and then digital transformation. Uh, Also, my hobbies are quite different. The usual, I'm kind of a rebel, perhaps, for having hobbies such as mountaineering, dragon boat, diving, all of cycling, table tennis. I think it's just the bird watching and table tennis that's pretty much not dangerous, but the rest are pretty much dangerous. And compared to what Rina said, the usual the usual girls in the family would, or the usual women wouldn't go towards these activities because their family or their mom or yeah, basically their parents would not allow them. Thankfully, although there are certain times or many times actually that my parents wouldn't agree, I just went to it because it made me feel alive. So, and I think having the business also made me feel alive, even if it's a very risky thing to do. Coming from a low middle class, low middle income family, it's really a very risky thing to do, to start my own company. And then but then when I am already doing it, and with all the experiences that I have, I think um, I found my ikigai right now, wherein I am good at what I'm doing. It pays me. I love what I am doing. I am good at it, and it's what the world needs right now. Especially we're getting towards a digital transformation as a world, as you know, as the whole world transitions to a very different period in time wherein there's COVID-19. The only platform that we can all rely on right now is the digital space, so that we can still connect globally without having the risk of getting COVID. Now, um, although this might change, I agree with Miss Rina that it might change, because what you want to do this 20s might also change in the 30s. But I think right now I have realized my ikigai for now. Since we are continuously changing as a person, what you are good at might have been elevated to another level of skill set. What the world needs might also change for the next decade, and what you love might also change when you are also learning and gaining more experiences. So so as of now, I found my ikigai and started my, and this Reach 360 is that ikigai. It's really important, if we're going to have if you're going to have a company, it's important to have this power of introspection and metacognition. Basically, it's the power of checking yourself on a third party, or on another lens, but it's also you looking yourself. So you have to understand what's your vitals, basically your values, your interest, your temperament, your around the clock activities, your life mission and meaningful goals and strengths. And from there you use your strengths wisely, and knowing your weaknesses, as you do the power of introspection, would help you know your loopholes and your weaknesses, and even have a strategy on how to make these things work despite weaknesses. So in this world, where business is really a male dominated sector, um, knowing those knowing your vitals, knowing your strengths and weaknesses can help you navigate towards the gender based problems that currently any woman in the world would be encountering right now, like such as, of course, the limited funding, basically balancing responsibilities, especially if you're a mom, you already have a family when you started your business, you have your family life, you have your business. There's a fear of failure. There's also unfavorable business environment that we are into right now. But good thing that there's a lot that I think in my network there's already a lot of changes in terms of business environment and opportunities, but there are still a lot of places in the world where where there's unfavorable business environment, unfortunately. And we still have to build this support system within the female CEOs, female business owners, or um, who are also, or females who are primary decision makers in the company. Because I believe that businesses, these are built by men, and so they were designed for men, and they have been supporting the system ever since. So just look at the men who built America, those four giant businesses, like the Rockefeller, the uh, and then the other one that has Ford, yeah. So the Ford industry, the Rockefeller, they are all into one support system ever since, and so they have designed this for men. um Anyone hasn't There were no women designing the businesses or the business system itself. The business culture was not designed by any women. And so now we really need to have the support system so that we can restructure this business world that we have right now. And there's also another problem because we have limited knowledge. There might have been knowledge that we haven't really gotten touch into with respect to the business world, the ins and outs, of the businesses. So most might have not have this knowledge yet, and so we are blind in terms of navigating this business sector. So now we really have to have this support system so that we can accumulate more knowledge as well. And then just pretty much the same as the imposter syndrome, we become timid. So timidity is really a problem. And finally, gender inequality. There's still gender inequality right now. And so we still have to fight, we still have to navigate with this problem. Now, uh, even though you are, for example, in my company, even if I am the founder and CEO of the company, I still have males more than the females in the company. And so what happens when there are more alpha males, not just regular males, but the alpha males with you in the company? I can still see dominated discussions. I can still see dominated decision making. There's still a lot of tensions, um, and and there's really a lot of influence. It's something that's uh, not said but felt. I don't know if you have felt this way before, or you have already experienced this, but some might experience it, and so what can we do if this happens? So there might be some values that hold us back, um uh based on their lens. It's these things are actually good. Okay, it's not really bad, but too much of all of this could hold us back. I think when we try to nurture people and we want to be alpha females alongside with the alpha males, if we want to nurture them, and nurturing them too much, having multitasking too much, taking care of everybody too much, it takes time, effort, and other resources for you. And so once you do that, once we have these values too much already, then it becomes something that holds us back. It becomes part of self-sabotaging, wherein we now we now bring personal issues to work. We now become very selflessly doing all the work and trying to be liked, instead of delegating tasks, making sure that you still have time for yourself as well. um, Making sure that everybody would actually work, and not really riding the bandwagon. So it should be them helping you navigate the wagon, not you doing all the work and not you becoming the mule of the wagon. So yeah, and then we must to stop self-sabotaging. We should not accept poor treatment and inferior pay. We should basically, there are also times that we take things personally when alpha males don't do that. And then um basically that's where, I don't know, that's where the idiom perhaps kiss and make up happens, because they just do that and then okay, they're good again. Compared to perhaps women when having some personal issues, it takes longer to repair that. So there's also making statements that sound like questions. So uh, these things that I wrote here is basically through my lens. These things still happen to me, and so um it takes practice for me to do this. I still make some statements, and I still make a lot of statements, not just some. Make statements that sound like questions instead of saying it as a statement. uh, there's also a lot of things that makes me, fail to strike and close deals. There's declaring open war. There's seeking affirmation. This one, the usual self-sabotaging thing that could hold us back is seeking affirmation from others rather than from within, and failing to keep secrets. And so these are the things that alpha male uh, might have been you know they're more ahead of us because they don't do, if not all, not all of this or almost all of this, they don't do this. And so alpha males can turn the tides against us, even if we are awesome, even if we are very talented, even if we are very skilled than them, because they don't do self sabotage. Then they can actually get ahead of us, or they can dominate discussions, they can dominate decision making. So basically uh, these are still the things that could hold us back. And so for the female entrepreneurs out there, I think we all should have at least have this 10 traits in my perspective. Number one is confidence. Then of course the vision, your passion, greed and tenacity should be there. Establish your strong work ethics. You should have agility and flexibility. Salesmanship is really important as well. Your own business acumen, some might not be born with it, but it can be learned. So continuous learning is really important. Same as salesmanship, it can be not something that you were born with, but you can also learn this salesmanship and business acumen. Willingness to ask for help and accept help. I think this is very, very um, important for us because uh, we should not be working alone. So no man is an island, right? So we should be working together, have that, we should have this support system. We should be willing to ask, be vulnerable, ask for help and accept help. And then finally, through this all these problems and gender-based hurdles, we should be resilient. Because if you're the owner, if you have your own company, your idea, your NGO, your passion, your advocacy, that is your baby and basically your brainchild. And so take care, you have to really take care of it and grow it. Yeah, so I think that's it for me, and hopefully we can work together in any project that you have. And here's our contact details. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rach. It is so nice to hear someone's actually lady experience in a men's world. So this is the reason why it is good to organize events like this, and why we should discuss about that, because all we have different experiences and different mechanisms to solve some situations. And sometimes that are skills, sometimes that is our personal experience, something is something third, but it's very good to hear, to share. I just want to say that we received some questions, and I really hope that we will have enough time to answer. So the first question is for Rina. And Mrs. Neuch, what was the biggest challenge you faced when you start at Picos Venture Capital?
Well, the biggest challenge is, of course, as you know, FICUS is actually a VC. How a VC operate is that we actually raise money from institutional investors, like family offices, banks, sovereign funds. Like any entrepreneurs, even though I'm sitting on the other side of the fence, being an investor, the biggest challenge is always people saying no to you, regardless of the track record that you show. There will always be people who said no, you can't do it. No, because of the other 10 reasons. But for me, is like that's fine, because I have already put my heart and soul on it. If the first one say no, then I'll go to the second one and the third one. So it wasn't that easy to raise money as well. In this world, right? We try not to be judgmental, but we are actually. If you ask someone if they would invest in Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, definitely, because they have shown track record. But if we just say that we'll invest in people with track record, what about those who just wanted to start? What about those who are the first-time founders? If nobody give a chance to the first-time founders, how can you have track record? So, even me with 20 years, with my first fund, sometimes some people is still not good enough. Maybe because my fund isn't a $1 billion fund, they don't see the returns on it. But what I usually take away from, if I meet someone and they say no, I would always ask them, what are the criteria that you are looking for? What is not matching your mandate? Because investors, we have to remember that they have their own mandate as well. If you are meeting an angel investor, for example, like myself, you know that I like education. So, and that is my personal interest. So if you present a education startup to me, you will get my immediate attention. Plus, I will also feel that I know the industry well, because I've invested in more than 10 education sector. And then sometimes it's also the timing. When you go to VCs or you go to anyone to raise funds, sometimes they would like to invest, but their cash or their assets are parked somewhere else. So they may need to unwind it. So there are many reasons, many challenges. Being an investor, we have challenges as well. Like, for example, FICUS, we need to fight with other VCs for good deals to invest in, right? We need to deal with emotions of every single founders that we invest in, because nobody is perfect. They will come with different types of funny things, that sometimes will surprise you, right? So even if you do a lot of due diligence, sometimes skeleton in the closet may just pop up. So I take it as, there'll always be issues. I just need to be really calm. Don't react. I always respond, because when you react, you may not be in the best position to actually evaluate that situation. So whenever I feel stressed, whenever I feel angry, whenever I feel sad, I choose to just don't do anything. Because in the past, right, when people are angry, spontaneously you do stupid things. So my advice is like, just keep cool, keep calm. And then, you see that you think about it, maybe you'll just laugh at it at the end, right? Yeah. I hope
So
that's a question.
yes, and your business is so challenging and so interesting because different people, different mindsets, different experiences. So that is something that is interesting is in this business. And we have another question. What advice would you give to other women who are interested in starting their own business? So we can start with Rina, then we can continue with Ketaki, then Rach, because we are all in a business, so maybe to share our experience and thoughts.
Well, I think from my point of view, since I also mentor a lot of women entrepreneurs, for me, a startup is a business, and for me, entrepreneur is, the classification is quite generic, right? Even if you start a small stall selling stuff, you're an entrepreneur. If you are Elon Musk, you're also an entrepreneur, because benchmarking success, unfortunately, in today's world, why we keep repeating Jack Ma, Elon Musk, and all this is because we only benchmark on, most of the time, unfortunately, on financials. I would like to see people, benchmark in in other ways, like, for example, impact and all this. But why do we listen to Jack Ma, Elon Musk, and all this when they actually say the same thing? It could be Helena saying that same sentence, Rina saying that same sentence, but when Jack Ma says it, it carries 1,000 more weight, just because people think that, okay, he's successful, he has a lot of money. So if you wish to start your own business, I think it's very important to do enough research. Okay, because right now Google is your best platform. Do enough research and make sure that you know what are the pros and cons before you start. And then you ask yourself, will you still be enjoying this journey, 1 year down the road, 2 years down the road? And what are the possible roadblocks that may arise? And if so, how would you deal with it? Because I think it's important that we at least, can foresee what's coming. And if you do not know how to do it, please ask. I think one of the attributes of being an entrepreneur is first, you have to be a hustler. Asked, because the only thing you get is no. So what is it? But if you don't ask, it's no from the start, right? So be a hustler, and don't be afraid to actually socialize your idea. Don't keep the idea to yourself, because you may think that, oh my God, I created the best, cake, or I created the best product, but it's just your thoughts. Because remember, you if you're in business, you are producing a service or a product, you are actually serving the consumer. So it is not about creating the product that you like, the color that you like, or the material that you like. It is what customers like. So do a survey. Google Forms is very easy. Do a survey, and talk to people who have already done it before. I think getting a good mentor, whether they are family members or friends, there are so many people around this world that have actually volunteered their time to mentor people. So go on and search. But I think if one thing that I would like to stress is do enough research, and there will never be enough, because when you go and start your business, when you start to talk to consumer, you need to know your product more than the consumer do. If you go and raise funds, you need to educate the investors about your product, about the industry. The moment the investor know more than you, it means that why should I invest in someone who is not even in tune with what they are doing, right? So over prepared, because if you are passionate about something, you will naturally have interest to know everything about that particular thing that you want to do. So if you really want to do it, start. There's no good time or bad time to start. Every day is a good time. But just make sure that you know how to mitigate the risk. If you don't know how, ask. That's the easiest thing to do. Ask people.
Yes, thank you so much, Rina. And Kitaki, what do you think about?
Yes, I personally, whatever Reena was trying to say or whatever Rage just mentioned, ultimately, I was just trying to connect all the dots, and the way they said grit and agility. Okay. It is only and only possible only when you start balancing your emotions. Okay, when and that's the role of emotional intelligence. It is the base for you. So start understanding, start introspecting more, try to find out your niche, your strengths. We feel that I like doing this. There is a difference between liking and actually you have those capabilities in you. You just have to start, ask why to everything, not only why, and ask why not, why I should do and why not. Okay, I will try and I will do it. However, that persistence has to be there. This is what is something from my side. And change, road the mind blockages. Just try to take out the blockages and walk the talk. Start working on whatever you want to. Just start working, walk the talk, start dressing up like for that. Start working on your not that's what I don't like the word weaknesses. I always use the word developmental areas. We all have different strengths and developmental areas. So please find out. We all know deep inside our heart that these are our weaknesses. So these are our developmental areas. These are our opportunity areas. So please try to focus on those. Try to jot it down. Slowly eliminate the things and work and focus. And when you find your niche, the way I love doing what I do. So it took a lot of time to figure out this is something I love to do. So it's all the road path of positives and negatives. So you should be ready for that roller coaster. And then when you reach that destination, that mountain on the top, you feel so nice to look down, the beautiful view. So this is what my advice or my experience sharing from my side.
Yes, so at the end now, everything is related with the love and the passion. So we really have to be there with our heart and with our emotions. And Rach, what will be your message?
I think for me, it's on top of what Rina and Kitaki said. Another two things. So I think it's more on the safety net and network. So when you say safety net, if you want to start your own business, make sure that you have your emergency money, you really have the savings, you really have your family there as a safety net. If, for example, anything goes down the road, goes down the drain, whatever happens, and if ever during your while you are doing your business, you need some funds, extra funds right away, you really have to have your safety net, which is either your family, your friends, or your savings. And then another thing is the network, wherein make sure that you build your network. uh, you know that you have enough network if you're going to start your business. You kind of have the feels already of what are the risks, so all of this would be also connected to researching. So if you research who your network is, what do you have so far, that's actually part of your strengths. What are your what do you have right now? If you're gonna start a business, jot down all of the things that you have and what you still don't have. Um, and from there, you'll learn what is your network, who are your networks, where are, and you'll understand more if you have your safety net. Because there are risks, of course, in creating businesses, and that's you have to take note of those.
Okay, thank you so much. And we have a third question. Do you have any scholarship or open colleagues that offer the MBA or with a discount with discount without English proficiency? So maybe if some of you know someone that have some MBA program, for people without English proficiency or something like that? If not, I don't know, to be honest, and I think that we can continue with the other question. If you can mentor another woman, will you consider it? Reina?
Yes, of course. If of course, we all have 24 hours a day. There is so much we can do, but I'm always open to mentor women, men or women, if I can contribute, and if there is the industry that I know best. Because I think the mentor and mentee relationship, it has to be symbiosis. While people always think that the mentee must listen to the mentor just because he or she is older, more successful. I think mentors also need to learn from the mentees, because we can't be God. We don't know many things here. I'm learning from even my preschool kids, because some of the things are just so pure, and you've never thought about it. So I think finding a mentor is important, but finding a right mentor that fit you is more important. So yes, I'm always ears. Mentoring doesn't mean that I have to spend 1 hour sitting with you. It can be just bouncing off ideas, just a question that I will give my opinion. So you can find me in LinkedIn. So just pop the question, and I try to reply of all the LinkedIn emails, because to me, the person, even if it sounds like junk, right? At least the person find an effort to write to me. Even the name is wrong, they address me as Mr. But I guess I got to give it to them that they put an effort. For me, I put myself in their position, right? You're trying to get help, and it would be nice if you send to 1,000 people, maybe 1 or 2 reply and say, "Oh, sorry." I always say, sorry, this is not my area, because I only invest in around ASEAN. So some from Africa and all this. So at least you let them know that it's not in your mandate, so that they can focus on others, right? Because I always feel that, if I'm in their shoe and I send an email out and I look at my mailbox and nobody reply, right? So it doesn't take a long time. So whenever I'm watching my Netflix, I'll just reply.
Yeah. Yes. So sometimes it's really hard to reply to every message. I cannot imagine how messages on daily basis you receive, but I know that you manage it. I don't know how, but you do some magic, definitely. And Kitaki?
Yeah, Yelena, I would like to answer the question someone asked for MBA with non English without English
English
connection, right?
proficiency.
Yeah, so
Yes, please.
see, this is I really don't know anything from that side, but as my forte, or the way I tell every person around me, our most of us, our first language is not English. However, it is a business language which we all have to ensure to learn, and it was also a big journey or process for me also to get into this. However, if you really want to succeed in your life, or if you are looking forward to yourself being an entrepreneur, or to grow yourself all over the world, please ensure that you have to start working on this business language, which is English, and try to go for the course in MBA in English, and try to, you will, once you are in, because I have done so many degrees, and I believe in education. Education is a strong foundation. The way you start thinking, it starts, many other areas starts opening. You can start think more powerfully with your education. So start getting it. Don't limit yourself with, I don't know English. Okay, just get into that, and slowly, definitely put that hard work, and you will be able to get that master's degree. I'm sure about it.
Yes, thank you. And according to your answer, attendees can realize that your answer is actually connected with our presentations. The point is the limit is in our head. So change the way of thinking. So don't limitate yourself and tell yourself that you're not so good in something. You can always improve yourself. So don't pay attention if your English is proficiency or not. Just start. And when you start, you will improve yourself, improve your English and everything. So don't think in that way. If there is something that is good and interesting for you, just keep going, go and try, and your English will be improved. So, Raj, I would like to hear your opinion about mentors, and actually, if you can mentor another woman, will you consider it?
Yes, of course. Definitely, because as I have said, it's really important to have a network of a support system. So mentorship is one support system that we can do for everybody. So yeah, it's really just a matter of time management, and if it's within my expertise, definitely I can give my 2 cents.
Yeah. Yelena here again, for the mentoring part, you asked me that question and I started
Yes.
talking about her. However, this is what I'm doing, being into this profession as a consultant, and this is what my job is. I'm mentoring so many people. My husband is like, don't you get tired messaging people? Because we are also human beings. We have our limitations. However, I feel that if I were in that another person's shoes, so I try my best and I try to I'm doing it. So I'm always, that is what is my foundation, high EQ and empathy person. So I'm always there for everyone. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I can tell the same, that actually sometimes it's hard to answer fast, but actually we always find some period of day when we can reply to your emails or messages we received on LinkedIn. So don't be ashamed or afraid to contact any person. If you contact someone, you can gain or you will stay at the same position. But just keep asking and trying to find the actually your mentor or connection or partner, whatever. Just keep going. And now I can see a question for myself. What's the one piece of advice you find yourself repeating over and over again to fellow women entrepreneurs? I will actually, my journey was so hard because of some bad family situations, and there were so stressful situations. I had some, I lost money, time that I invest at the beginnings. So the thing that is always on my mind is everything will pass. This is a good lesson. If this is going to repeat to you, that means that you didn't learn your lesson. So think positive, try to realize what is the bad thing that you do. Is that a network? Is that your attitude? Is that your way of thinking? Is that your wrong reaction on someone's reaction? Maybe I'm too emotional. So that is something that I still, and now, of course, I always repeat to myself. And the thing that always helps me a lot, it is okay to fear. It is not easy to do everything in my life. I feel fear in a lot of cases, but I just teach myself to keep going. And no matter what is in environment around me, what are people there, do I know that people, or is that situation or something that I never saw before, or I have something, some information about that, whatever. So I just continue with keep going, because I will also make connection with my sport experience. I'm in a ring. I don't have a possibility to think and to discuss. I have to fight. I have to go through that fears, because adrenaline things do some special things. I also have emotions and feelings in that moment, but I have to control it. So at the end, at the beginning, at the end, everything is in our heads. So some situations will repeat to you during all your life, because our life is a journey full of adventures. So your role is how you're going to walk, and how you're going to react, and how you're going to make your adventure. Is it going to be nice and funny, or if you are going to look only, see only negative things? So that is something that I would really like to actually to hear from others, and something I really like to share with others. So thank you for your question. And now we have a question from Rach. What was the most important thing that you learned from working surrounded by so many males?
That's a really good question. So basically, I think the most important thing that I learned is more on the insights. How do they think? What do they think of? How do they respond? Because I really think that we could learn so much from them on how they do and how they deal with things. And so I was able to run down all of those observations that I have for myself, as well as the observations that I got while interacting with them. So those things about the one that I've shown a while ago about stop sabotaging, self-sabotaging, that's mainly the insights already that I have accumulated after working with them. And yeah, definitely it's good to have a mix of having male females in the business, so or in the company. So it's not really about having just females in the company, but it's really more on equality and making sure that there's fair treatment of all the employees, of all the partners, co-founders.
Thank you. We don't have too much time, but we have a few more questions. One is, how can we develop or work on our business acumen? So who would like to answer?
Maybe I can jump to it. So
Yes, please.
For the business acumen, basically you just have to have that focus. You have to learn all the financials. What does that mean? You have to seek education. Basically, if you want to boost yourself on having this business acumen, you can learn using it through master's degree, getting master's degree, and or if you want to jump right to it, you can start your own business. But that's not very like a very positive one, but because that's already risky. But business acumen skills can be accumulated through experiences. So it can be experiences through real life business, or you learn the theoretical side using education. So of course, after the education side, you have to apply it, or while doing the education part, you can also do the business. So you can start small. You can decide which level of risk you can have. But basically, business acumen is a skill that can be developed through time using education or real life experiences.
Thank you, Rach. We received a few more questions, but unfortunately we don't have time. Our suggestion is to actually contact us. You can find us on LinkedIn or on other social media. So please be free to actually contact us on through social media, and send us any question that you have or you had and we didn't have enough time to answer. So that is something that we can suggest, and sorry for this. We also hope that this session and our presentation and discussion was useful for you. Thank you so much for attending and following us, and hope that we see each other again on some event organized by Digital for Foundation event or some other event, but you are more than welcome to stay in touch with us. Thank you so much.
Ladies, I want to thank you. And for the questions, we have a group in LinkedIn, which you can see all the profiles of Kitaki, Rach, Rina, or Yelena. And I'm going to share the questions there, and we can continue discussions in the LinkedIn group. Also, we're going to have a 10 minutes break and going to proceed with our next panel. But before that, I want to invite you to join our Digital Expo. Here you can see the stands of Tendrix, Neosoft, TimeDix, or the other stands. You can also chat live. If you have some questions, you can chat with the experts, with their experts. We have WhatsApp, and you also have emails. So I'm going to share the link with about our Digital Expo, and you can see all the stands there. This is, and going to proceed with the break, and after that for the next panel. Thank you very much. Once again, I know that you have more experience and more advice to share with us, but the time is limited. So again, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye, ladies. Hello, ladies, and hello to our attendees and our guests. I want to welcome you to the second panel of Women Entrepreneurship, which is from entrepreneurship to education, how empowering women can help others. The moderator of this panel is Miss Colette Elting. She is well experienced online marketer with a big experience in social medias, blogging, SEO, and after many years, she started her own company, Marketing, Online Marketing, to help other entrepreneurs by sharing her experience in online marketing, how to use LinkedIn, and how to use social medias for their to grow their business. So, Colette, the floor is yours, and I welcome all of you to this panel.
Thank you, Stanislava. Thank you very much for this wonderful introduction. Welcome, ladies in the panel. Welcome to see you here again, and hope our other panelists will join us soon. Welcome to all people viewing us, and thank you very much for the Digital Week organization for joining here together to see all about the possibilities, how to share from entrepreneurship to education, and how empowering women can help others. We have some lovely speakers today, and well, it's good to see you here, ladies. Welcome.
Good to see you as
Yeah,
well.
good. Yeah. Hello, Maria and Tita. I hope the other women are going to join us also later on. Stanislava introduced myself already, as I am an online marketeer and an online entrepreneur and mentor to many female entrepreneurs who want to power their dreams. And well, let's talk about the women and how we can use the power of online and how we can create a great economic opportunities and start building their financial independence. Let me share you with the first speaker of today. It's Mireille Tima, if I say it right, excuse me if not. Welcome, Mireille. Thank you. Mireille is an award-winning entrepreneur. She's an internationally renowned oil and gas professional, senior petroleum engineer, global energy and STEM consultant, and women empowerment advocate. That's a lot. You are a woman on a mission. Great to have you here. Yeah, great to have you here. You have one major objective, and that is to empower 1 million girls and women in STEM by 2025. Wow, that's an amazing objective you have here. Your topic, you're going to talk about digital technology as a key enabler to women entrepreneurs, and the creation of digital businesses and the adoption of digital technology by women entrepreneurs, and helping them. Well, the floor is yours, Mireille. Welcome.
So the floor is mine. There's just a small change in, the presentation that I wanted to do. So it's still the same theme. It's planting seeds of STEM in women in underprivileged community, and that's with the objective to empower them economically and reduce poverty. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me do that now.
Yes.
Okay, so I hope everybody can see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Put it in the share option and then you'll just...
Okay, all right. So
wonderful.
That's wonderful. So just to, so I know Colette already introduced me, but I'm actually an entrepreneur, but I also do a lot of social work as well. And I'm the managing director of a company called MT Energy Resources based in Perth in Australia. And we've been doing social projects under the STEM Queens umbrella in here with women in the indigenous community and also in Africa, in Uganda specifically. And my subject and my presentation is going to be about how we really use technology and educate women, especially in rural areas and underprivileged community, to create opportunity for them, to empower them economically. So one thing that we need to remember is, poverty affect women really, more than men. And we see it especially in developing countries. So in Africa, where, we are doing our social projects, but also in here in rural Australia, and particularly with the indigenous community. So and we see that it's whatever poverty we see is structural. It's entrenched in the way society is. There's a workplace setting as well that actually create this poverty. And also we've seen that it has actually worsened with the pandemic. So that's another additional burden that come on top of what was already very challenging. And we've seen working in those rural community that increasing women participation in STEM, and especially building on the digital on the digital tools that are available, that we've been able to empower women, and they've been able to be more visible, to access more opportunities, and really start to reduce poverty as far and create jobs and reduce poverty for them. So that's really what we've been doing so far. Just to go through some statistic, and I think most of the women in the room might actually recognize themselves. So we lower paid, sometimes unpaid. We do a lot of work, but we're not paid. So undervalued, and a lot of inequality in work. And I've been working in a very male-dominated environment. I'm a petroleum engineer, so I've worked most of my life in industry where I was a minority as a woman, and you really see the disparity, and it's just too much, and we really need to look at it and try to find some solution to close this gap. So I've seen some important progress. When I started 25 years ago in the oil and gas industry, it was worse, but we've seen some changes, but there's still a long way to go to really put women into an economic level where they can compete. So I've talked about the lower wages. So there's, different reason for that. Sometimes it's our own fault as women, and that's where the education process is very important, so that we understand that, we can negotiate things. We don't have to just accept what is given to us. And we've seen that around the world, especially globally, that, we earn as women in general, 24 to 25% less than men, at the current rate of progress. And it will take quite a long time for us to be able to come, to the same level. And there's, and we get those jobs that are underskilled, and we have to fight to get decent work. And so 75% of women, especially in the developing region, are in the informal economy. So there's no structure. In a way, they're very vulnerable, and we need to change that. That's really what we're going after. And we see an opportunity with the digital era being in the fourth industrial revolution, getting more opportunity for women to get those opportunity without going through a very close environment that is that been built up by men in a way. So so the unpaid work, I talked about it. I mean, a lot of women are actually at some point even when they really want to be competitive, when they start a family, it becomes very difficult. They have to take care of their children. They're not paid for that, and it becomes very difficult for them to stay, especially when we talk about staying in STEM and staying abreast in this digital industry. uh, to really make an impact, and even to just earn money for themselves, and be able to create opportunities, or to grow or upscale if they start a business. In a way, they work longer days, and they're not paid for that, and they still have, in my case, I still had to go and wake up and compete with the men that actually had their wife, being at home and helping them to take care of their families. So those are the kind of things that are, that have been very difficult. So the flexibility, working on finding the right flexibility, is also part of the work that we're doing, so that we can help those women, especially in the regional area, where they tend to put them into, let them into the house and not really give them the opportunity to do something else. And we've seen, for example, I mean, like I said, there've been a lot of things that have been, been done. And because we just realize in certain industry that, getting more women, it's actually helping industry, it's actually helping companies to become more competitive. And so it's becoming now an economic necessity, more than just a gender issue. So a lot of companies are now reviewing whatever they have, to be able to include women, to be able to know how they can create this flexibility around a woman who have actually a lot of thing to juggle, so that they can get the benefits, economic benefits, in term in their companies, and really help the economy to grow and to be sustainable. So that's something that is, and I think that's the opportunity for women to start looking at how they can capitalize on that, even if though the obstacle of managing a family and managing all kind of things is still there. So, and that's where STEM and the digital is coming in. We see that in a lot of industry, STEM is present. There's STEM everywhere. Like I said, we are in the midst of this fourth industrial revolution. And it's very important that women are part of it, because STEM is in the health sector, STEM is in the financial sector, STEM is in, everywhere, sport. So we need to find a way as women to find our our place, and be able to enjoy what we're doing. And I think the digital tools are helping us to do that, especially when we talk about regional women. By the time they come to the city and get a job, it's not always easy. So having access to the internet and being educated to use the internet, to use the social media, and create a business at home, is really helping them to get this financial independence that they are looking for, and for them also to participate in the economy in a way, because it's not just about the woman. Yes, they get this independence, but it's helping everybody in a way. So that's the way we should look at it. And another thing with STEM job is, as we can see already, they are actually well paid. They are well paid. I mean, as far as Australia is concerned, when we compare to a conventional job, it's 2-3 times more that you can get, if you are in STEM. I mean, even at the lowest level. So this is an opportunity for women to really grab those things. Especially, there's a gap. I mean, we're missing capability, because we've left women aside. So it's important to see, okay, where are the woman, and how can we fast track, their education and their and help them to get into the market as soon as possible. So and however, working for a company, and we've seen, technology companies and even resource, company in the resource sector, to really be ready to pay, they can, to get, this manpower that they don't have, and really, get to the next level as far the economically is concerned. So we really, I think it's a good way, because we create those opportunities are created for the regional women, for women who are at home. They can actually participate into the economic, the economic world, and reduce poverty for them and for the rest, of the population, because they can not only work for the private sector and for the government as well, because there are a lot of opportunity for the government, but they can also go the route of entrepreneurship, and that's where we come in as as part of our social project, to help them to first of all, to work on their mindset, because some of the women, when they hear about STEM, especially if they are in the rural area or underprivileged, they think that they can't do it. So we have to work on their mindset, bring them, where they should be, and then on top of that, when they're ready, when their mindset is ready, now give them the technical education, so that they can move on, either to create, like we say, their own table, or just go and find a job where they can, they can use their newly acquired um, skills. So that's been what's been done. So in and we've talked about it already, the fact that well paid, and most of, with what's going on, everything being automated, robotic, artificial intelligence, and everything, we need to have women there. Otherwise, we'll be left behind, and we're not going to be able to reduce women poverty in a way. And so there's a gap to fill. So we work with women who are already on the market, or who are unemployed or have never worked, but we also go to the source. So working with students, and already have this have them prepared to get into those STEM jobs, because sometime, and we've seen a shift in a way, because a few years ago we couldn't get enough graduate women to get into those STEM, and really participate in the digital sector. But now they come in, but somehow after a few years they leave, and we call it the leaking pipeline. They leave either because they start a family and they can't cope, or there's different things, they get stuck when there's the glass ceiling. So we really help them to understand that there's always an opportunity to find a different way if they're stuck. Train them to prepare them to be able to become entrepreneurs at some point, start something, and have the different and get the different skills that are gonna help them. Or if they really want to continue, help them to mentor them and help sponsor them, and help them to go up the ladder, so that they can actually be fulfilled, have a fulfilling career, and enjoy and participate, because that's really what we want. We want them to participate, because we know that's where they will get the financial, especially the financial level, that's going to help them to have a sustainable life, and take care of their families. So there have been in a way, we have a very significant relationship, with the education level and the working status of women. So we connect women with those graduates so that they can mentor them, they can, accompany them through the process. It can be for, a few months, or if they want to continue really through their career, 2 or 3 years. If they want even more, it depends on the relationship that is created, so that they don't feel, they don't actually drop out when, it becomes tough, and they really challenge, and they see all of obstacle, and feel completely powerless. So that's one thing that we do. We've been talking to especially in Australia and in Uganda, where we are present, talking to organization on the ground to collaborate with them, and talking to government as well, so that they can help us as well to facilitate this process. So the project that I'm talking about is what we call the Energy Angel Projects. It's going to be rebranded as the STEM Angel Project, because when we started it, we just focused on the energy sector, but now we're going above that. So we will go and rebrand to match the work that we're doing on the ground. So there's sponsorship for young, because we're really targeting underprivileged regional, something, so they don't sometimes have, even if they really want to change their condition, they don't have the money, or they don't have, the capacity. So we help them to find sponsorship. We sponsor when we can, or we just, collaborate with any organization to have, the sponsorship, and that's for the young girls. We also have a STEM development program that is more for women who are starting and who envision to become entrepreneurs. So like I said, we prepare them in the technical leadership, management, but also mindset, and help them to navigate the full process, so that they're not, they don't give up, because that's really what we're looking for. We don't want them to give up. We want to bring them, but we don't want to stop there. We want them to stay, so that they can bring more women and empower more women. So there's the coaching as well, coaching and mentoring for women who are already in a way established, but still need, the support, because sometimes it can feel very lonely, and so still have this support, and most of the time trying to get them to interact with women in a different environment, or in different countries, so that they can learn as well something new, because they might know their own environment and do well where they are, but it doesn't mean that they know everything. So that's one thing. And then there's a leadership part as well that we do, and we have business camps and all kind of this, which is related to whatever we do. So that's really, we put a lot of emphasis on educating, and it is looking at different aspects of education, not just the technical, but most importantly, making sure that they capitalize on the digital tools, and they don't find an excuse to not be, part of this, of this fourth industrial revolution, because otherwise they're just, they're just going to be forgotten, and that's not what we want. So really, pushing for that. We've seen women who actually didn't think that, never actually, gone to uni or anything, but didn't really think they could amount to anything. But then when we start to work with them, they start to discover that they have some skills and they can learn. So they, they really start to believe in themselves, and they do tremendous things as a result of it. So we have the STEM Queen in Uganda, and we're working with a local NGO. In Uganda, we actually just we're focusing more on the graduates and early university and stage, and young, young professional, and we make sure that they understand what are the opportunity for them, what opportunity to chase, and who to get to, and really accompany them through the process so that they can have a good start in STEM, and hopefully, because our objective is for them to become entrepreneurs as well and create jobs, because especially in developing countries, create jobs that are going to help other women or other people, and build the economy and create something sustainable in their environment. And so we, like I said, the mission is to increase the representation, but also reduce poverty, because we really want to empower those who don't have the opportunity. So we work a lot with women in regional area, because in the city, in the capital city, there's already so many programs. So we really help them to build up, create a plan, and implement the plan to make sure that they create the financial opportunity for themselves, and then break the cycle of poverty, and really stimulate the STEM economy as well. Like I said, it's not just about women, it's also about everybody. As we've seen, when women participate, something special happen, and people start, companies start to grow, and things start to really, have some shape. In STEM Queen Australia, we focus more on professional women. So we've been working with a local NGO called Indigenous Women in Mining and Resources Australia, and it's again, we focus on the education and entrepreneurship to help the Indigenous women to grow in the sector, to get more opportunity, because they tend to have jobs in those industries that are really at the bottom. So, and they just because they are discouraged or they don't think about it, they just stay there, and we don't want them to stay there. We want them to grow in either in those companies, because we have massive mining companies and oil companies here in Australia, or just create something for them small, or and something that they'll be able to scale later on, and help them to raise their profile. Because what we've seen is that there's a lot of it's the mindset again, where they don't believe in themselves, and they don't understand that they need to go out there, be visible, work hard, and really get those opportunities, instead of waiting that the opportunity are going to come to them. So we really work with them so that they get this confidence, and then they plan, and they have big dreams for themselves, because otherwise it becomes very difficult, and they get stuck in this cycle where you just become completely negative, and you don't believe in yourself anymore. So that's what we do. So we recognize that the digital era is helping. For example, in mining, we are able to help a lot of Indigenous women. They can have access to jobs that they couldn't, like get those work with those trucks, because everything is automated. Before that, as a woman, it was very difficult to do that, and other things that they can operate now, so that they can position themselves also in those industry, and not be left out. And that's really fantastic to see the growth and the change in a way, not only of mindset, and when you come back 1 or 2 years later, see how what they've been able to do is just amazing. So really the digital is helping, and for other women who are starting their businesses, we see, for example, in Uganda, some women starting to be virtual assistants. That those are things that they didn't know. So using the internet and then they can have, clients all over the world, things that they couldn't, expect, sitting somewhere in a regional area in Uganda. So really bringing those opportunities and using the digital tools to position them and help them to create the economic independence that they need. So that's what it is. We have a big goal, which is to empower 1 million girls, and women by 2025 globally. And so we're looking to expand in the near future the program to New Zealand, Asia Pacific, and obviously the whole of Africa, and and really get more women participate in the fourth industrial revolution instead of being left behind. So that's really what I wanted to share today.
Well, thank you very much, Mariah. What a wonderful story. Really amazing, this mission. And yeah, I do agree, but we'll talk about this later. This new fourth revolution is all about women getting in charge of economic revolutions. Yes, wonderful. Well, I
fantastic.
Was happy to listen to your story and amazed by all the opportunities. And one of the major lines, I think, in all what we're going to talk about, all four of us, is visibility. Make sure you're out there, make sure you're visible and stand out for yourselves and for your company, either out for mindset or technique or whatever. That's where we're going, that we're heading. Thank you very much, Mariah. When everyone has questions, please, you will be able to ask your questions after these presentations. And well, Mariah, good luck with your mission. And in 2025, 1 million girls and women will be there. I am totally sure of that.
We will be there. Yeah, we will be there. We
you
have
do that.
to believe.
Yes, we have to believe it. It's all about mindset, and you will get there.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes. Thank you very much for sharing your story and all your educational programs. Next speaker on this platform will be Tika from Finland. We're moving from Perth to Finland. It's all the way the other way around. Yeah. Tika is marketing manager for the Finnish medtech company called KipuX. Probably announced different in the Finnish language, but I'll try my best. They aim to become a world-leading company in remote monitoring and pain management. Wow. And Tika is a speaker and author, voice also of women and girls who are victims of violence. Yeah, empowering women worldwide. She's dynamic, charismatic, and a compelling leader, and unafraid to go for challenging assumptions. Yes, original thinker and very creative. She's known for her multitasking skills and cultural awareness, a global networker, which we all are right here, which is wonderful. We love that. That's why we're here, right? Yeah. Tita, you're going to tell us more about KipuX, right? And about all the possibilities and one about this top innovation in the world of betterment of healthcare and humanity. Please.
Thank you so much.
The stage is yours.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be here today as one of the women panelists and to represent KipuX Ltd, medtech company from Finland. And KipuX mission is to combat healthcare inequality and help millions of people. Firstly, I would like to share my life mission, which is to give my voice and face for the women who are victims of violence. There has been severe pain in my life, and pain is a global problem. I'm working for the betterment of humanity, for the betterment of healthcare treatments. And I'm really happy that my life has a meaning and I can help others. Stanislava, can I change the slides myself?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing.
I give you access.
Thank you. Uh, it's not changing.
I can change it for you if you want.
Yes, please. Next slide. As a marketing manager, I have huge responsibility. Due to my life mission, KeepAWAX has become my mission as well. It's more than a job for me, as I can help people globally. I'm grateful for KeepAWAX for lifting my confidence as a victim of violence. Also, I'm grateful for being able to use my creativity. This means you have to have a powerful, thoughtful leader like we have. There is no automatic pain assessment solutions available on the market. How we can measure pain? Marko Höynälä, CEO of KeepAWAX, is an experienced Finnish entrepreneur and innovator with a number of game-changing IoT products to his credit. KeepAWAX as a company was formed from Marko Höynelä's own life experiences in seeing firsthand how destructive chronic pain can be. Pain is often underdiagnosed or overtreated, both having long-term impacts on the lives of those it affects. Next slide, please. KeepAWAX team makes me really happy. It represents strong professionals, strong values, good team spirit to pursue our aim to improve healthcare and save lives. Team consists of women and men. Equality is a key. For decades, the medical community has been looking for an effective way of measuring pain and distress. Around 1.5 billion people are suffering from pain every day, and 50% of doctors' visits are pain-related. It's challenging to assess pain for those who are unable to communicate. Pain level is incredibly difficult to assess, and currently assessment is conducted by observing the behavioral or physiological indicators manually from the patient and from numerous different monitoring devices. It's especially difficult to assess pain for those who are unable to communicate, such as babies, small children, individuals with mental disorders, elderly care, and critical ill patients. Development of pain assessment is important because only the identified pain can be treated. Good pain management can affect many things, such as relief of suffering, reduce complications, promote patient recovery, and shorten hospitalization. It's especially important in prematurely born babies whose neural system is still immature. Next slide, please. KeepAWAX's mission is to decrease the pain in the world by providing reliable pain assessment. KeepAWAX is a small wireless IoT device that continuously measures different physiological parameters from the patient digitally, converting them with an algorithm into pain data, and provides efficiently reliable measurements for healthcare professionals and home users. Especially now during global pandemic, this kind of solutions the world needs. There is no need to be next to the patient. As we know, now already millions of nurses are infected by the virus while taking care of the patients. Next, please. As I'm talking now in the women's panel, we all know how much women love children. KeepAWAX is the first device that effectively measures pain in children using sensor data and smart algorithms. KeepAWAX lets you know how much pain the baby is feeling at any moment, whether the painkillers are working, and ultimately how to treat them better. Like you say, a baby can't tell it hurts, but KeepAWAX can. World needs this type of companies and affordable solutions, which promotes equality and improves people's well-being. increasing the quality of life and happiness. I believe the future will bring telehealth technologies and solutions that will improve healthcare worldwide. And that is what KipuX is providing. Next, please. Over the last years, 3 years, from KipuX's humble beginnings, we are game-changing how healthcare industry monitors and tracks patients' ecosystem, including patients, doctors, nurses, ambulances, home care, and elderly care. Our ability to remote monitor, especially during COVID-19, as well as the cost-effective, yet most innovative solutions we provide, positions us on a global front in leading medical IoT industry. KipuX solution has important role in revolutionizing telehealth industry towards a more patient-centered approach. And what are the impacts? KipuX is improving healthcare. KipuX mission is to decrease the pain in the world by providing reliable pain assessment at home and hospitals, regardless of patient's age, gender, and illness. By increasing access to physicians and specialists, our solutions help to ensure patients receive the right care at the right place at the right time, and saving millions of lives. Telehealth will revolutionize how we use healthcare services in the future. It improves patient engagement with remote monitoring, expands access to care and reaches more patients, improves clinical workflows and increases practice efficiency, increases practice revenue, reduces practice overhead, cuts patients' costs, improves healthcare quality, reduces patients' no-shows, improves patient satisfaction. So let's work together for the betterment of healthcare, which is necessary foundations for a peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable world. I wish everyone stay healthy, safe, and as health is our wealth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tita, for sharing this wonderful story with us. What an amazing technique you have there. And a web-based patient management. And what a, I'm not a technical person, but when I see such a small thing that can do all these checks on your patients, that must be quite a revolution.
Yeah. Improving healthcare globally, and that's what we are doing.
Yeah, what a mission, again, a wonderful mission for you. And well, above all, cost efficiency and the health quality, the satisfaction for the patients must be amazing, not having to be bonded to all kind of tubes and whatever, but just put on the small tool you have there. Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Tita. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We go to the next speaker on this today's very interesting, so far really interesting stories we have. We have Sha Manakoraram. Sorry for my explanation. She's a self-made entrepreneur running her own service-based business, MRITS Resources. She comes from zero background in knowledge and execution by business, but she built her own empire. Wow, Sha, wonderful. Yeah. From scratch, and today she's inspiring many startup entrepreneurs, and there are a lot of them, a lot. Her struggle and hard way in building her passion, not forgetting her responsibility as a daughter, a wife, a mother of one, and it never stops her to intention to support others to achieve their dream too. Your motto is always, we rise by uplifting others. Yes, she walks her talk. Shah has been featured in 2 global events, keynote speaker on the women entrepreneurship programs, university motivational programs, community events, and many more. And your topic is about be your own boss. Right, Shah? Yes,
That's
the floor is
fine.
yours. Let's hear your
Right.
story.
Can you see my screen, Khalid?
Excuse me?
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I see your slides. Inspire
All
the
right.
inner you. Yes.
That's great. Thank you.
You
So,
go ahead.
thank you, Khalid, for saving my 5 minutes of my time to introduce myself. I'm so grateful and happy to be here today. You can call me Shah. That's even easier because I understand my name is a little difficult to pronounce.
Sorry.
All right. That's fine. Okay, so as Khalid introduced me, I'm an entrepreneur and a mompreneur, son of mother of one, and I run my own company known as Merits Resources, covering few digital businesses and also educational technology. And I also run my own coaching programs as a mindset coach and also speaker in events. So that's a little about me. And today, I'm not talking anything about particular industry, but I'm going to talk more about women and how much support I'm going to give in this mission of supporting another woman to continue their journey. It can be entrepreneurship, leadership, corporate industry. I've been in corporate for about 12 years, so I'm here to share my journey and how can I help another person. Right. So I like to start with a small thing, which is the very basic that we need everyone to have. Everything is a thought before it's changed as a plan. That is the most important part where we want to start our life with a thought. Without a thought, there will be never a plan. Same goes to technology. If there is never thought of introducing internet, we will never have Google now. So this is the starting point that we all need to do. And as a woman, I truly understand the struggle coming from a middle class family, and you have a lot of hats on you, being a daughter, being a wife, being a mother, sister. You have a lot of things to do, and there's a lot of naysayers and community. We have lack of community support at times for women to do what they like to do. So that is the first thing that as a mindset coach that I work on for women to change their thought process so that they will start to think before they start to plan. And if you can see my next slide, I'm talking about motivation and transformation. I truly believe motivation is extremely important for a person to move, especially, when you're feeling down, and it is just that to kick your momentum going. But more than motivation, I give a priority for transformation. When I talk about transformation here, we all need some kind of transformation to be someone. And for you to get this transformation done, it's not like 1-2 days process or a week or 2 week, but it's a very long journey. I'm in this for 12 plus years, and I'm still in my transformation journey, and I believe it continues forever, right? Until you reach a destiny that you want to reach. And it contains a lot of energy. And this energy is what I educate to women through my programs, self-development, and also finding your inner self programs, where you drive your energy through your emotion, where your energy and motion travels together within you. And how do you develop your inner self to be someone better, to achieve whatever you want in life? Because whatever we think about, that who we are, that's what I believe. And when you drive things within you, first of all, as a woman, as an individual, it can be both gender, I don't mind, but the important part is to acknowledge the crisis in the first place. We can aim to be a good leader, we can aim to be a good entrepreneur, we can aim to be a better person, but acknowledging the crisis is the first ever mission that we want to have in our life, so that we know that we are going through this and how are we going to change this forward. And that's what I emphasize in my programs. And opening up your vision and changing your story is where going to help you to move your dream to the next level. So if you're starting your entrepreneurship journey, first of all, you have a reason why you want to start. There is a big why in front of us. We identify our why, we acknowledge our crisis, we open up our vision. That's where we change our story. And that is what the transformation is all about. And when we talk about transformation, I would like to share this image of this iceberg. Okay, I think we have been seeing this iceberg for quite some time after this pandemic started, because everyone to do something and we want to show some success everywhere. But my point of view, I just want to show this iceberg in a different perspective instead of success. Before we even reach a destiny of success or somewhere that we want to be, I believe that building the inner self of us, all right, especially as a woman, we have a lot of struggle in the way. We have a lot of barriers in the way which we want to break, which I have done for myself. And I am educating that to another woman now so that, they don't go through the journey as hard as I did, and that can help them to do it better. And in this iceberg, I have split the personality and character in two ways, where the personality is at the top, where people see, and the character is within, where people don't see actually. And building this character is what fundamentally make you strong in this transformational journey that I'm talking about. And failure, fear, this is the biggest fear that a person can have, a woman can have. If, let's say, the naysayers talk about, you're abandoning your family to do something that you like, you are a mother, I don't think so you have time for all this, you're a woman, I think you should focus on family and all that. I think this is what changing now. We have a lot of women coming out from this comfort zone to actually face the real fear, and to it's okay to fail. They have the mentality of it's okay to fail, but we have some minority still having this struggle to come out from their comfort zone, is what I call about transformation, building your character. There's a lot of challenges in our way. I faced a lot of finance issue throughout my journey, which, you don't get much support from people when you're starting something new. And especially if it's not trending at that point, people will think like, what are you really doing? Like, I don't think so this is going to help. That's what happened when I started the education technology before the era of pandemic. People think that studying online is not possible, but I think that's what helping the world to grow now. So that started for, I think it's about 6 or 7 years before, and the pandemic this past 2 years kind of making things even clearer, saying that education technology is important now. So this is the challenges, this is the struggle that you want to face at that moment, but then there is a vision for your dream. And this is what I call building your character, building the inner self of you, which becomes the primary principle. As the fundamental become good for your primary principle, it makes you a lot easier to make your personality in a very natural way. You don't have to attend classes. You don't have to go through some kind of courses to show up a good personality, because it comes with your character. And whatever activities, the core values that you're bringing, it's all purely depends on the principle that we are holding in our life that brings the value. So that's the importance of this transformation that I always talk to my mentees, to my peers, when I'm supporting them in any form or program, in Inspire the Inner You program that I'm running under my organization. So finding the inner you is as much as it's important for us to build up ourselves. We also need to know what are we really passionate about to do something. We all have been in this journey for so long, but facing a lot of challenges, struggle in our way, sometimes put us down and feel like giving up. But I believe if, let's say, we find the ikigai in what we are doing, that will keep us going. That is the momentum. That's the fire will push you through, because it is not something that you want to do, but something that you love to do. And that's where I come up with this program, Be Your Own Boss, because you want to do something that is beneficial for you, for the community, to the world. And that's what I call ikigai. And it also helps you to get the finance independence. And talking about ikigai, I think most of us know about it, but just in case for people who don't know, allow myself to explain a little. So ikigai is a Japanese concept saying the reason for being, but I call myself it's the life worth, because this ikigai program helped me to identify what I'm passionate about. As much as I was building my entrepreneurship journey in Merck's resources, doing a lot of technology related business, finding my coaching program to teach this to another person, to even develop another woman to become a better person, is where I find my ikigai, where I love doing that, to support another person doing it through my program and seeing them successful. I take it as my own success. So this is the ikigai that I meant. But this can change throughout your way. I don't say that one person will be doing this kind of ikigai at this phase of life. It can change at any point. But the idea here is, do you find what you want to do in life? And finding that ikigai is where will guide you to reach your destiny and makes you to keep going without failing or giving up in life. So this is the point of you finding the ikigai, which I teach in my course, or I run personally specific guidance on how to find ikigai. And this 4 things is like a great tip that I use for myself. It helped me a lot. I think it's also will be beneficial for some people out there. And this 4 question that I always ask myself morning and night before I go to sleep. How happy am I doing in what I'm doing? How happy am I? And that kind of gives me an answer if I am on the right track and doing what the world need, what my community need, what my other person with me needs. Am I doing it with passion or just to get profit? Because I believe that you can earn money in any way, but are you passionate in doing it so that you don't give up halfway? And how satisfied am I feeling before I go to bed every day? How even if it's one person changing throughout the talk that I'm making in my daily life, that gives me success, that gives me satisfaction in what I'm doing. And am I really jumping out of my bed every morning because I want to get excited in what I'm doing, just like how I am today, because I'm passionate about teaching people. I'm passionate about guiding another woman, another individual to become successful. If you are saying a yes to all this for, trust me, you are in the right track, and keep going, do what you do the best. But in case if you think that there is something is lacking in this 4 question, there is a no in between, you may want to take a pause, take a break, and think if you need to really shift the gear. If yes, do so, because it's never late, it's never wrong to change what you're doing, to do what you love to do. And this is always the best quotes, or the best saying that I always have for me, for another person, that throughout my journey, I had listened to a lot of naysayers. Everyone has said, you can't do this because you don't have the idea of business. You don't have the knowledge of business. Because I came from the background of pharmacy and I did holistic treatment. But then when I step up into business, I don't have any knowledge. That's why I don't call myself as businesswoman, but I'm proud to say I'm an entrepreneur because I built everything on my own from the scratch. And I love teaching this to another person today. So I always take this best advice from my close to heart mentor, Mr. Les Brown. Someone's opinion about you does not need to be your reality, will never be your reality. You, who you think you are, is the person. Listen to your heart, listen to your brain, go on with your plan, because your thought is the best thought that you can have for you. And whatever your mind can conceive and believe, definitely you'll achieve it one day. And I'm here today because of this. And I would love to, guide another person doing the same thing. And I always believe whatever I do, end of the day, it belongs to me. Say it's a mistake, say it's a success. Our action and behavior solely from our own decision, never a condition, never a blame situation here. Who's responsible for your responsibility? It's you, it's me. So I wish all the very best to the women out there who's striving to be someone today, who's striving to be in any industry you are growing. It can be entrepreneurship, it can be leadership, it can be something that you're building for yourself. I wish you all the very best, and you can connect with me all the time. You can always ping me in any social media, I'm everywhere. So you can just send me a DM, text me. I'll be more than happy to help you if you ever need my assistant. And I wish everyone a very good luck and enjoy the journey of your life.
Thank you, Sha. Thank you very much for your inspiring story. Well, I guess you found your ikigai. Really, you did. You're a wonderful storyteller. And
Thank you.
guess one of the transformation is a continuous process. As a human being and as an entrepreneur, nothing is completely
Never.
stuck in stone. No, it's always developing yourselves in what way or where it is. And I guess you're the one to go to and turn to help you with finding your passion and your being your own boss. I love that. I guess we all love that, as we are all women who stand for what we want to be. Thank you, Sha, for sharing your amazing and inspiring story. Well, I guess it's now for me to tell my story. And well, as Stanislava introduced me already, I'm Colette Elting. I'm from the Netherlands. And let me say my own. Yes, I am an online marketeer and a business owner already since like more than 10 years. And before, I had a great career in the corporate world based on sales and marketing. Well, as soon as the online marketing came up, I really love it. It's a very interesting market. So I specialized myself in online marketing because I'm a very curious. I know I'm always looking for new opportunities, and the online marketing does give people and entrepreneurs and women in special a lot of opportunities. Well, I gathered all my experience together and built a very powerful program called COVID, the Online Visibility Academy that I run, and in which I coach entrepreneurs and also big businesses to create their irresistible online visibility. When you have this online visibility and it's working for you, you're able to build an independent life as a woman where you are in charge of your own finances and being able to provide for yourself and your family and the community to live in, and live the dream you once dreamed of and before. Online visibility, power your dream, empowering women to inspire independence, increase confidence, and live your life to the fullest. I serve next to my job and my family. I serve the community as well as a board member of many community services, and as a member of the Ladies Circle before, and now as a member of the Rotarian, serving our community and helping people who need help in different areas and places. Well, as you were talking, Sha, I am living my dream, and I think I did find my ikigai as well. Yes, I love teaching people and I love helping people, and that's why I'm a mentor. And I don't like to be called a coach. I am a mentor because I went through the system, and from a shy, invisible teenager to a female entrepreneur who is visible and stands for her story. I own my story. I own the story of being and visible and getting visible to own my story. Let's get to my sheets. Let's see if I can do that. Always, ta-da. No, that's not what it is, right? Technique, that's what I teach people, technique, and now I have my own technique problems. That's always the same. Let me see where I have it. There it is. I would like to talk to you. Well, let's see where I have it now. Share screen. There we go. Yes, you see something?
Yes, we see it.
Yes, times are shifting. Let me talk about how women can use the power of online marketing to create economic opportunities. and start building their financial independence. It's been something Mireille has been talking about too, and Shangar too. Well, let's see. The online marketplace is perfect for women in business. Times are shifting, and use it. The number of people that are connected to social media channels are roughly equal to China's population, which is a lot. And with a total of 3 billion and growing people connected to the online community, we have the power to reach more individuals, build stronger communities, and have a greater impact than ever before. Who would have imagined 15 years ago that we would be able to reach out to millions of people all around the world? I don't think if we ask our parents, they would have never figured this when we were somewhere in the 80s, mid 90s. But as Mireille also already said, we are in the fourth industrial revolution, and this is part of it. Online business is part of this revolution. People have the power to build their own public platform. That was never, ever before. And for women, this new reality provides an opportunity to completely bypass traditional power structures where men were the bosses. And we can go past that because we can go online and build our own platform. I'm not telling you we don't need men, of course, but I think it should be more equal than it has been the last decades, maybe, yes. In traditional settings, men still dominate, and unfortunately that is, but there is a shift going. That's why we're talking about times are shifting. Only 10% of the top earners and 14, 15% of executive officers in the US are women. And I'm talking only the US now. We are here to change that. Women are making progress. And well, for those who are up to it and want to talk with Mireille and talk with me about developing, and with Jaap and with Dikta, talking about developing yourself and, well, own your story and your business. Those who will, you can definitely fly the lean in fight. Let's see what we can do to empower women and change the landscape of doing business. Let's see if I can change my screen. Yeah. Doesn't work. No. It's not working the way I want it to work. Just a minute.
You can probably share it with me, and I can try share it on my screen.
Yeah, it's totally gone now. Yeah, it looks like my computer is totally. Oh, this is not what I wanted. Let me see. Share screen. My complete Canva is gone. Wow, love technique. Well, this is all we have to learn, and there's nothing to fear. Things happen like this, and don't get panic. There we go. Well, thank you for your kindness. Let's give it a try again. Here we go. This was the first sheet. Yes, now it's working. Changing the landscape. Thank you for sticking around with me. Changing the landscape. The online landscape isn't a traditional one, and I was talking about this. The online landscape is fairly new, and with that, it enables women to build their own cities, their own structure, their own paths, and pave their own ways to power their dreams. This is what online landscape will do. It has fewer barriers, as we might find in the before business things we were working in. There are no glass ceilings. This new online landscape provides a completely new way to break through, serves a lot of people, and makes a major difference when building a purpose-driven company. That is why the online marketing place is the female frontier. And it's one that I encourage women to join us there, to provide themselves with an income, create independence, be strong, and then be able to take care of themselves, their family, and their society. And for, as we talked about before, be an example for the younger girls and young women who are starting their working career. Let's encourage these women to start with this changing landscape, to work and find out how to build their businesses by using, for instance, social media as their road to financial independence. That's what it's all about. When research shows that women-owned businesses are one of the fastest growing entrepreneurial populations in the world, we do find some obstacles along the way. You know, the family work conflict. How do I take care of my kids while I do want to make a career? These are conflicts we come everywhere. But when you have an online business, it might even make it more possible to work from home. And even in this pandemic where we all started to work from home, Aisha just thought about it, we never thought we would do that. And now we're doing it. So the pandemic does also have a profit for us in there. Also, there might be an obstacle of lack of economic and social capital. Mireille might be a way to solve that problem for a lot of women who want to work and who want to develop themselves. Recent years have witnessed a sharp rise in female entrepreneurship in digital context. And as we all started with the fashion, with cooking, with food, with beauty, is where a lot of female entrepreneurs developed big businesses, starting from working from home and now having a big business. We also talk about craft micro enterprises, where women create businesses that not only enable them to earn their own income, but also create and offer flexibility, as we were talking about in this family work conflict. And it's also an outlet for their creative passions, which in a lot of times before were never seen by a lot of people. And now they can be creative and even sell the products that they're making. So this is about landscape changing and how we can use this landscape and this online marketing place as the female frontier, where we can develop a lot of new businesses for female entrepreneurs. How can social media influence the success of your business? And we're talking about S-commerce. We all know the word e-commerce, but we also have the word S-commerce, which is social commerce. Communication technologies have evolved, making us more connected and closer to each other than ever before. And maybe, and I wrote down even in this pandemic, but maybe because of this pandemic, online businesses have shown major growth, as online is where the connection is nowadays. We connect online, as we are talking in this digital weeks online. We're connected from Malaysia to Finland to Holland to Australia, wherever we are connected to each other. And I guess we would have never met if this wasn't the development of the online business we have now. So what's my message to you? Be there if you want to grow your business. Be there. Be visible. Create your online visibility. It is the web 2.0, but maybe we're already in 3.0, and it's called the development of the internet to a mean of communication. And the rise of social platforms gave rise to the e-commerce, as I told you years, the social commerce. It's a new phenomenon in the world of business and communication. It includes the usage of social media for business purposes. 5 years after Facebook became a public company, we witnessed a mobile and social media revolution that has changed organizations and forced organizations and companies to connect with their customers in a new way. Before that, the only possibility to connect with your customer would have been to go on the street or into the shop or in a mall or wherever your customer was and ask them questions about what do you think about me, what flavor do you like, which color do you like, etc., etc. But after this social media revolution and online revolution, there's a connection with your customer, but also with your prospect right away. You can get connected right away. This means that e-commerce stands for social commerce and is a subset of e-commerce, and it supports this social interaction with your customers. It's a user contribution to assist online buying, because that's what we want. We want people to buy online. That's where we are. And we can sell products and services online. And these are the major points that we own as a female, as a woman. We love to interact. We are social. We have the nature of taking care of each other and assist other people, because that's what we used to do in the decades or what times before. So what I'm trying to say is that women do fear a bit about online marketing, etc. But when you make it smaller and look into the micro, it's like our talent. We like to social interact. We like to help other people. We love to serve other people. And when you look at it that way, then social media is not that angry monster. Oh my gosh, no, it's not. Embrace it and use it to grow your company and show yourself online. If you are able to learn the techniques for the online, and it's not that hard, it's really not. That's why I made my program. I made online marketing simple. When you put it into pieces about strategy, technique, and motivation, then you have it. And when you do, what can social commerce do for your company? It helps you to engage with your customers. There you go. This is a social aspect. It provides an incentive for your customers to go to your website, because your website is where you build your business. That's where all the information is. And it provides all information to the customers who are in a research phase, who compare and ultimately choose you over your competitors when you are incredibly online visible, because that's what my message is all about. When you don't show up and people don't know you're there, people cannot choose for you. How to use the power of online. Make yourself and your company visible, because your customer deserves it. They deserve your solutions that you give them. And if they don't know you're there, they're not gonna be able to grow and live the life they want to live. Don't wait until everything is perfect. That is something women tend to do. Everything has to be perfect. I see some, everything has to be perfect. And when it's perfect, I want to run over again. I want to check. And if it's perfect, I'll go. But maybe I'll not, but I wanted it to be perfect. Don't do it. Start doing it. Waiting until everything is perfect, it's waiting until the end of day. Don't do it. Start acting. But the first thing you have to think about is a good strategy and a good online marketing strategy. Who is your ideal customer? Question, who is willing to pay the bill for your product or service? That's your ideal customer. What's their biggest problem? And how can you, with your product or service, solve that problem? What's their pain? I always ask my coachees, what's their pain? What's making them staying awake at night? Because that's the problem you have to solve. Where is this ideal customer online? Where is he or she? Because that's where you have to be. Which social media channel? You don't have to be all over the place. You just have to be there where your customer is. Because I know it's well, when you have a marketing people of 5 people in your business who run your online business, sure, then you can do all the channels, all social media, Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, Pinterest, etc. But when you start, choose the channel where your ideal customer is. Go there and serve them there. Then what's the price, the best price you might be able to ask them when you solve the problem? And the next one is a very important one, and I'm going back to that later. What questions are people asking online about their problem that your product or service solves? I'll get back to that later. Use the online business also to develop your own business. As soon as you have this strategy clear, you're going to show the world you're there, and you're showing to show the world that you're there to solve their problems. Create a website. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be major, but it's all about your customer. I'll get back to that later. Go on social where your customers hang around and start talking to them. Delivering content. Be social on social media. This means not just sending messages, but also asking and getting into conversations with your ideal client. And as I said before, start being friends with search engines like Google by writing SEO, search engine optimized blogs. So you will be found by your favorite customers. And this is what I was telling you just before is look for questions that are people asking online about your product or your service. Because when you start answering those questions on your website and on your social media, people will find you as the expert in your field. And as soon as they find you the expert, they will start buying from you. Tell your story. Tell your story. Tell your story, because when you own your story, people commit to you. So this is how to use the power of online. Let me see, I think I missed one here. Make the customer the hero of your story. That's what I was. Be like, think like, act like your ideal customer. The biggest mistake I see on websites and their homepage is that people talk about themselves. Are you familiar with the 4-second rule? 4 seconds rule? We as human beings decide within 4 seconds whether I like you or not, whether I like to do business with you. It is also the question I ask my trainees in my LinkedIn training that I provide with LinkedIn workshops. Look at your profile, LinkedIn profile, as being your ideal customer. And would you, based on your LinkedIn profile, now decide to do business with you? Are you answering the questions of your customer on your profile? And that's the same question I ask when people come over me and say, okay, lads, will you scan my website? Most of the times they talk on the first page, on the home page, about themselves. And there's no way that they are talking about the problems they solve for their customers. When I don't provide my customer on my website within 4 seconds with answers to their problems, they're gone. They're gone. This is also has to do with changing the times that we're living, and times are changing and changing fast with a speed that we've never ever witnessed before. Speed that is enabled by all the technology and the technical possibilities that we have and that almost rule our lives. We are ruled by a lot of online stuff, social media. Whatever question you have, we all pick up our telephone and look up for the questions and try to find answers to our questions. And this also means that human behavior changes, because we are surrounded by so many techniques nowadays. We as individuals also expect to get access to relevant information at high speed, fast and easy, no matter what time, which device, where we are. We always want the answers right away. This means that you have to offer your customers content to be found at that time, at that place, wherever the customer is, provide them with the answers. And you can do this. You can offer relevant information, relevant content to your ideal customer on the right platform, because you went through the strategy phase. You know what the problem is, you know where your customer is, and you know which solution you have for your customer. We take decisions within split seconds, so you have to serve your prospect, your ideal customer, on your website and on your social media, to decide within these split seconds to start doing business with you. That is really an important part of your online marketing strategy. Start doing this. Check your website. What's your homepage? Is it about you? Or is your customer the hero of the story? Think about that. The 4-second rule. I want you to remember that. Social selling. Sales is hard. We hate sales, right? And when I hate, it might be a big word, but we don't like to pick up the phone and do cold calling. I don't, at least I don't. I'm not the car saleswoman. No, that's not my career. That's not where I should go. I don't know about you, but I shouldn't go there. But happily, there is the social selling, and we have social media, and we have the online marketing. And by social selling, we can start doing sales by telling stories. Social selling is all about the soft way of selling, and it's a part of the business many women feel attracted to. It will enable you to create stories, as I say, a soft way of selling your product or service by using the internet. I provide stories and proof for your business on website and social media. And the most important part of this is start sharing your knowledge. Knowledge sampling, that's a good word for that. Start, well, you know, when you go to a big exhibition, you get samples of whatever there is on the exhibition. Online, you can sample with your knowledge. So you can let people taste about your knowledge and let them know and find out what your expertise is. And when they start liking this expertise and they trust you and they start knowing you, it's the trust factor, they start doing business with you. People will rely on you as the expert in the field and will start doing business with you. There was a research by HubSpot. I don't know if you know HubSpot. HubSpot is a major online marketing company, and they did some research and they asked buyers as well in the B2B, business to business, business to consumer, about the influence of social media on their buying decisions. More than 65% of the buyers admitted that they are influenced by information they read or see on social media. More than 65% of the buyers admit that their buying decision is influenced by information they read on social media. That means for you that you can influence the buying process of buyers by being online visible. So are you online visible enough? Are you answering the questions? Are you giving answers to the questions your prospects ask online? That's a big question you have to think about. If it's no, you start today. If you are, you proceed doing that, because then that's good. Then you're being found by your ideal customer. Share your knowledge. Make sure your prospects know that you can solve their problems. That's what it's all about. And as soon as you know these questions, you make the right content. And content is a lot of ways. It's in blogging, it's in vlogging, it's in infographics, it's in email marketing. There are a lot of ways to make your content and go out there and share your knowledge. Make your customer the hero of your stories. Always put them central. In the center of all your thoughts is your customer. And you can use the online means we have to make sure you get to them and they get back to you to buy your products. So it's about social selling. It's also about social listening. Listen to your customers online. What are they talking about? What's their discussion? Where are they? Listen to them. And when you listen carefully, you know what message you have to send to get to them. Social selling, very important. Social proof. Make your customer work for you. No better business than business that gets recommended by others. Social proof is the best online sales method for you. As soon you have developed the right content, as we were talking about earlier, and people start seeing you as the expert, they will buy your products or your services. This does take time. This doesn't happen overnight. You have to take time to make sure people get to know you and start believing you, start trusting you, and start buying you. But as soon as the first person buys from you, make sure you get reviews. Social proof is all about customers telling how good your product and service helped them solve their problems. And you can tell yourselves how good you are and how excellent you are. Oh, I'm the best, I'm the best. But when there are two people, and well, at least the best is even more people telling about you how good you are and how good you help them, that's what other people think, okay, I'll go for it. I will start doing business with her. The best chosen websites in the world are those websites who have a social proof being a great part of their website. It's all over the place. When you have your home page and this is your product, you should have your social proof here. So put your reviews here. Let other people tell about your product. You know, it's not that difficult. When you want to book a hotel, hopefully we can start traveling again soon, and we want to book we are able to book a hotel somewhere, and well, maybe meet each other somewhere. But when I want to book a hotel and there is a review and 6 or 5 out of 10 are, well, bad or not satisfied by the hotel, etc. And there's another hotel who is more expensive. Okay, it hurts in my wallet, but it is more expensive. But there are 5 people writing good reviews. What hotel would you take? I would take the more expensive one with the good reviews. That is, sometimes we don't even, how do you say it in English? Sorry, I forgot the word. But sometimes we're just not, we are seeing social proof all day around us. Just look at the social media you're checking in on websites, etc. When there is social proof on a website, you trust it more. The trust factor, the social proof, is very important. Make it an essential part of your online marketing. It really is. It really is. And how to get social proof? Just ask your customer. Just ask them. You know, on LinkedIn, it's very easy. You just send them, ask for a recommendation and do it. And when they put it on LinkedIn, you can use that same recommendation on your website. And don't put it away somewhere on a page way back on your website. No, make it in front, on the front page of your website, the recommendations you get. It will grow your business. It will power your dream. That is what online marketing will do for you. And this is how you can make online marketing easy and work for you and power your dream. That is what I do all day. Embrace your greatness and show it to the world. Be online visible. Get your financial independence and start using this big world. Make sure you own it and create your financial independence. You know, it's all about empowering the women that surround you. Be the best example. And for you, for your daughters, for your girls in your area, in your neighborhood, and all these young women who start in their working career. Embrace your story, share your knowledge, be proud, and start using this big WWW as we women are changing the world. There is a shift going. There is really a shift going, and I can see it. So many women starting their entrepreneurship. And I am there to help you with this online entrepreneurship. I've been through the struggle. I have worked hard for it. But I have assembled all this information to help you get there and embrace it and be the woman you want. Reach out to me. And where will you reach out? Well, all over the place. Of course, I am a social media expert. I am an online marketing and I love it. But the best way to get to me is through LinkedIn, where my basis of my communication, because my customers and my ideal clients and my prospects are there. You can see on my website, have a look at my website. And of course, you can send me an email at colette@comma.cc. Reach out and grow your online visibility. That's what I want to do. Empower women to create their own business and get financially independent. Well, thank you for listening to me. Stanislava, that was it. Closing my...
Great. So I guess now is the time for the questions from the audience. You can ask the question, or you want me?
Yeah, are there any questions? Did we see any questions? I have got Q&A. I guess this is one I've got. Let's see, what potential does women's digital entrepreneurship have for being inclusive? Who would like to answer this? Oh, you have already. Mireille, would that be something for you? What potential does women's digital entrepreneurship have for being inclusive?
There's a lot of potential because it helps women to have the flexibility. I mean, we've mentioned it before, that women have to juggle so many things, and it's sometimes very difficult for them to, to be able to be competitive, to be able to work on certain projects. But if it's digital, they get this flexibility, and it's actually become very inclusive for them. So there's the inclusivity is actually, you want to go digital to get this inclusivity. If you are a woman that is struggling with your work-life balance, or feeling left out in a way.
Yes, totally agree. Yes. How to choose a solid business idea, ladies? Victoria asks us. Well, I guess it's based on your competence and, of course, your ikigai. Shah?
Yep. I was about to. It was keep popping up. I think there's other questions, so I did answer some in a text.
That's okay.
Format. Yeah. So I think finding a solid business idea, it's purely about what you really want to do, and that's where the ikigai steps comes in, because you can evaluate if you falls under all the category. Whether do you have enough passion about your business? Do you have enough knowledge about your business? Are you good at it? Are you skilled? Are you trained? Or do you need to get more training on that, more skill on that? If you have evaluated your expertise in those, and you think that there is a necessity, there is a need from the world, from the community that require those solutions out there, and that can produce you payment, some income, then that is a solid business idea where you will need to work on your business model Canva BMC to see how can you strategize and put it into a solid plan. So come back to the basic, it goes back to the ikigai that you want to choose.
Yes, there you go. And also listen outside, listen to what problems people face and where you can solve a problem based on your knowledge. And if you don't have the knowledge, well, you start learning. You can always learn. I think entrepreneurship is also about always developing, always learning, never stand still, always keep going. And that's a great advice, Sha. Other question, why we should integrate LinkedIn into your content strategy? Well, you should nothing. You don't have to do anything. You just have to make sure that your prospect is there, that your ideal client is there. And there you have to fill in, and you go to that social media channel where you think your customer is, while you don't think you know your customer is. Although LinkedIn, next to finding your customers, I think LinkedIn is a wonderful social channel where we can connect to each other, where you can learn from other professionals, where you can hook up with other professionals in your business or even outside your business. And I think one of the advices I would give someone who would start with a business is to start working with people who are a few steps ahead of you, and maybe you can find them on LinkedIn. A mentor might even be a good someone to help you, because that's one of the things of a growth mindset. Find a mentor, find someone who will help you grow and who will be your backup for whatever you learn. I hope that answers the question.
We have question. I see it in the Q&A session. How to deal with the failure? I think Shen answered this question, but I want to hear the opinion of all of you, because you can give advice to a fellow woman entrepreneurs how to, because sometimes the ideas, the first you failure first time. So how to get motivated and to start again?
Well, learn from your failure and don't see it as failing, but see it as growing. I think that's how I deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes I do have a bad night after failure, but then I start reproducing, and it's not a failure. It's just something I have to grow on. Yeah. Mireille.
Yeah, I just want to, emphasize on that is, failure is a feedback. So it's giving you a feedback that there's something that is not working. So you have to, reassess and learn from this failure and do things differently and see what you need to bring, in addition. Is it, do you have a gap? Do you need, an additional expertise? Do you need to learn, go back to, take a course or a training? Or do you need to reach out to collaborate with somebody else who can, really, fill this gap? So it's a feedback. It's not permanent. And when you look at it as a feedback, then it gives you the opportunity to reassess and then think about how to, to pass, through this failure and continue to grow as an entrepreneur. And every single entrepreneur go through failure. So don't worry about it. You just have to, come back, take it as a lesson, and keep going.
Move on. Yes.
I think the same way, like all of you. So I think the failure is not the end, but the failure is sometimes it can be also a blessing that we learn so much from the failure. I have had many failures in my life, but I keep learning, and I could say that I have worked most with myself, with physical and mental well-being, and I have been also entrepreneur and made mistakes and even made bankruptcy. So yeah, I do know the failures, and I think when we think entrepreneurship, it's a puzzle, and you need to have all the puzzles uh, in the right places.
Yes.
You need to have good business advisors around you. You need that financial issues to be in a very good foundation, and this means you need to have good advisors from that sector, from that field where you are working. And this is really essential. And also these people surrounded by trustworthy and, like you Colette say, more wiser people than you are. So you can always have good advices and go forward. But I think the most important thing is it's almost like a cliche, but it's not cliche that everything is within you, but that's true, because you need to find your power, you need to find your motivation, and nobody can do that for you. So if you really want to do something for your health, for entrepreneurship, for your life to get better, you just need to take those steps and take that kind of steps which you are able to do. Like one day you can take baby steps, and the next you are jumping like a lion forward. But nothing happens if you don't try.
There you go. Yeah. We have time for one more, Stanislava.
Okay, I wanted to ask each of you, what was the biggest challenge that you faced as a woman entrepreneur?
What's the biggest challenge?
Because there are a lot of challenges, there are a lot of opportunities, but let's say, what is the biggest challenge and what is the biggest opportunity?
Oh, there are a lot of challenges.
For me, the challenge, because I've worked most of my, professional life with, in male-dominated environment, is to really get this credibility. And that's been, the challenge, because there's always this unwritten rule where, when you are a woman, they expect, especially when you start a family, they expect you to scramble and not being able to continue to be competitive. And that has been the key challenge for me, to always be up, and pushing myself to the limit to be able to deliver the projects, to be able to be competitive, to be able to raise my hand and lead when I'm actually questioned, when my leadership is questioned. And that's actually, and we've talked about failure, those challenges have actually pushed me to become the best version of myself. If I didn't have them, then I don't really know if I would have become the person that I am today. So in a way, it has been, you know, the big challenges, being challenged because of my gender or because of, you know, all those unwritten rules. But then it's also my strength because it has really pushed me. I had to go inside and push myself and make all the effort to prove, you know, people wrong.
Yeah, recognize that. Yeah. And my biggest challenge was those people, well, how is your little company going? You know, not like as if you as a woman are able to build a big business and all the thoughts that people have about building your business. I think that was one of the biggest challenges I had, besides the challenge of the work-life balance with the family with 2 small kids. Now they're grown up, so now it's time for me again. So that might be, that was one of the struggles I had to. But as I said, it's not a struggle. It pushed me forward. Yeah, pushed me forward. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the same also, like Mireille said, the credibility, and also, in general, like, because when I was entrepreneur, I was working from home. So people think I'm just a home mother, but I was working so hard all the time at home. And now I'm really happy that this years and years work is starting to pay back now, which I have been building the international network.
Yeah.
Just being a home mother. So
yeah, I think the challenge of being a mother itself is the biggest challenge that people think that we cannot perform. And especially, you know, working with people itself, it's what people call as challenge, but setting up your own business, like you have to do it all by your own, where people start looking at like, I don't think so you're going to have some time for this because you own a family, you have a kid, and I'm still having a 3-year-old boy, which sticks with me all the time. So but I think that challenge is a good challenge, because when you have managed your time in this moment, I think you even have better time management in future. So that challenge is always a plus point for me. So that's kind of challenge that I have in my journey.
Yeah.
Ladies, actually, we are running out of time, but I'm going to ask you more questions from Fatima Adlan. She asked, what are the advices you can give to startup? Just a quick advice from each of you, because we're running out of time.
Okay, let me see. What are the advices you can give to startup? Okay. Well, find out who your ideal customer is, and what problems they have that you can solve. That would be your biggest marketing advice I can give you. And find a good mentor or coach who can help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't do it all by yourselves. We female women entrepreneurs always think we have to do things ourselves by ourselves. Don't do it. I would have loved if someone should have told me in the beginning, buckle up with someone. Yeah, that's my advice to you.
Yeah, I think that's really perfect. I would say, never wait. Just get started. You will improve over time. Get a mentor, work with them. Just, you know, it's easier because you will never repeat the same mistake that we have done in our journey, so that, you know, you don't waste time. But never wait to perfect your plan. Never wait to perfect your strategy. Just work on it. You will start realizing and improving over time. So just get started.
Yeah.
And also to start small. Don't start owning the whole world immediately. Start small with a small risk, and you will learn on the way.
Mireille, you were trying to.
Yeah, I just wanted to reemphasize the fact that you need to know what solution you're bringing, because sometimes as startups we're very excited. We run the startup with the passion. Yes, we need the passion, but the most important thing is there a market there? And do you really bring any, any solution to that market? And like, everybody said, start and learn in the process, and don't isolate yourself. Bring the right team with you of expert that actually gonna accompany you through the process. I know at the beginning we don't have a lot of money, but network, and you will find people who can support you if your vision is really is really clear.
Totally agree with that. Yes.
Thank you, ladies, and thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your experience. Like I said, for the first panel, we can continue the discussion in the LinkedIn group. I will share it again with the participants. And I'm going to welcome you in our next live conference on Thursday and Friday. Lubu?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We are closing this session.
Okay.
Thank you for the speakers. You are very inspiring women, and it was very motivating. I want to thank everybody for the participating today. Tomorrow we have International E-commerce and Omnichannel Transformation, part of Asian Digital Week 2021. And at last, I want to thank the Keystone sponsor, Tendrick, Diamond sponsor, TimeDix, and our partners, supporting organization who help us to be here in Asia. And once again, I want to ask you to join our virtual expo center and join our stands with Neosoft Technologies, Tendrick, and TimeDix stands. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you all for listening.
Thank you,
Thank
so
you
much.
ladies.
Thank you,
Nice meeting you.
Nice
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.